It will do. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Praise the Run. It's been a few weeks. It's been like 3 weeks, I think, since the last episode. Patrick went on vacation. He went on tour.
Is it that long?
Yeah, it's been
Nine.
3 weeks as of yesterday, I think, since the last episode came out. Um, yeah, we 1 week we took off because I forgot you had to get car work done one day, I think, or something like that.
I don't
And
even remember.
then
It's all running
yeah,
together.
we're trying to plan these on one of our days off
Yeah.
to like ideally, make it convenient for one of us. I mean, Patrick wakes up pretty early and I stay up until fuck all. Because of my schedule, I get out of work at like 7 in the morning out at the latest. So we try to line it up in the morning, but I mean sometimes I'm tired in the morning, so I want to take a nap. But then it's like, dude, it's been so fucking hot.
Yeah, that's been like the biggest thing. It's just exhausting.
Yeah, I'm trying to like plan also recording this in this room with the weather without an AC.
Yeah.
Um, and it's the earlier the better for that, but also the other choice was I think at midnight is supposed to be the coolest temperature.
Right.
It's gonna be 69 degrees at midnight. I'm like, oh, that's real nice.
Yeah.
It's
That'll be like an hour and then.
right. Well, no. I mean, it's a from midnight on up until like probably 8 a.m. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like
I mean, once the
69 to
sun.
70
Yeah.
something. But yeah, dude, I was like that's why can't it just be like that all the time?
It is the nice. It's the nice middle temperature.
That's all I want. It's just that you might have to speak out as loud as you can just because we have the fan going.
Oh.
Um, shit. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. A lot of news has happened. I'm not recording the gameplay footage. I'm trying something different. I was going to record my my screen of my computer. Let's see if this works. Yes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then ideally that will be synced up at some point. I should have like clapped or something like that. Nah, that works. There were 3 weeks, a lot of news. Somewhat, I mean, kind of. It's a weird thing because we got like past the showcases and stuff like that, which is
Yeah.
why we had such long episodes. Um, and then really we have one showcase to look at. That's the limited run game showcase. I don't think I want to do like a full deep dive, but we can play it. And I was going to while this plays out. Oh, whoops. While it plays out, I was going to get a rundown real quick, so we're not just sitting here. I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on you. Do you want to man the controller while I start reading things?
Sure. What am I? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, we'll just skip through trailers and stuff like that.
Okay.
What you want.
Cool.
Let me run games showcase. Sorry, the should have warned you beforehand. I don't really have a plan going. I'm trying.
It's all improv.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna like get back. We stopped like doing like super hardcore news once we downstairs, just because it was so like it's so hard to just read shit on my phone and then like also man it up there.
Right.
Um, Everything announced during the limited run game showcase. I'm on digital trends. Limited run games ran its annual showcase No, I don't want to sign into Digital Trends. Adding its physical retro games released for the next year, while many of the trailers were already announced titles. Limited Run Games managed to sneak in some big announcements. Let's go to the rundown. Fucking A, dude. Why won't you just tell me? Let's break it all down. So this one, I believe, is Fighting Force. I don't know, this is Rogue Squadron. Shit.
Oh, a remaster.
Why would you... I'm like, give me a rundown, and then you start, like, not with the first game in the show. God, I hate news. Video game news sites, get your shit together. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster is what this is called. This is, I mean, it's made from the Doom engine and everything like that. This is actually Night Dive, who's been doing a lot of the Doom remasters and stuff like that. They're doing another one. This has been out for a little bit, I think. I don't know if it was only on PC and Switch, and now it's coming to everything else, but it's been out for a tiny bit. Oh, these are just physical versions. That's cool. After that, we should get Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection. I've never actually seen Valis before, but I'd imagine it's like another, like... Oh, it's not what I imagine at all. This is old. PC 88 in 1986.
It's like OG
Famicom
anime.
87. Yeah, side-scroller, like, Metroidvania things.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well
They don't really give me a description on GameSpot with the rundown. This is actually giving me it in order, but they're not giving me like a description for the game. This seems like one of those things that, like, they never came out here. Maybe they did.
Yeah, even the title, I mean, like, the subtitle, everything's...
It's all in Japanese.
Yeah.
Which there's...
So maybe that is what it is.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in here that will be like that. A physical edition of Rain World, okay. So this rundown is already skipping shit. Rain World's cool. This game is apparently insanely hard.
Yeah.
Like, one of the most challenging platformers of all time, is what I've heard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But also, I've heard, like, basically everything that Animal Well is kind of, like, harkened on with the insane secrets and kind of stuff like that as of recent. Like, Rain World is that, and has been that for a while. I believe they announced a second one recently, as well.
Oh, wow.
But this is cool that it's getting a physical release, because this might be one of those ones that are just, like, trapped to the PS3 or something like that for console-wise. I don't know. 2024 though,
Yeah,
for
I don't think I've
Rain
ever
World.
seen that one.
Rain World's cool. You should definitely look into that. You like a lot more side-scrolling kind of stuff. I believe this is Fighting Force. This kind of vaguely looks familiar to me. Alana. Yes, this is Fighting Force. This is like a PS1 beat-em-up
Oh, wow.
from back in the day. But it's getting their... I think that it's the Carbon Engine is what it's called. It's like how they're like porting all of these old games together.
Yeah.
Clock Tower was the first one they announced, and Clock Tower's still not out yet. I believe we will see Clock Tower in this. But I don't know. There's been a lot of cool things that they've announced, but we haven't gotten any of the games yet.
Yeah.
Like the Gex trilogy they announced at the last one. Oh, so it's the Fighting Force collection. I thought it was just the first one, but that's sick. Clock Tower, like I said, they announced that. I thought there was another one, but maybe not. I don't know what this is. What
That's
are you?
cute.
Is this that? There's a game here called Sea Smash VRS. Maybe we passed that already. I think we did. Oh, this is Renane, coming in fall of 2024. I've actually never seen this game before. By Octosoft. It looks like Switch only as well for this.
It's like a little fun.
Yeah. A little fun, like, almost like Shovel Knight. Kind of reminds me. Oh, yeah. It's on PC.
Like different fighting combos and stuff. That's neat.
Yeah. Really pretty game.
Yeah, I like all the colors. Very.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. After that, we get a new Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. They talk about, which is kind of like whatever, because that game's been out for a while. I guess it would be the Switch version. Yeah. Yeah. I thought they did a physical version of this already. I thought Kyle owns this on physical, on Switch, but maybe not. Maybe it's only digital. After that, we get another Japanese port thing called the Cosmic Fantasy Collection 2. I don't know what was in the first one, but this looks like it's going to be a lot of like retro arcade kind of stuff like that. Maybe some PC
All it
stuff.
shows is the like anime cutscenes.
Right.
No gameplay.
Right. This being the
cats.
second one, I never saw the first one.
Yeah.
The next game is a game that's actually published by Limited Run Games. They've been working on publishing a little bit. I don't know if I think they did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same thing in that same style. I believe this actually, it could even be the same developers, with Digital Eclipse. But this is G.I. Joe, Wrath of Cobra. They also announced the Power Rangers one recently too, Digital Eclipse. That Rita's Rewind or whatever.
Yeah.
That looks sick. Getting on through with games that we don't know about. This is Assault Suit Linus 2 Saturn Tribute.
Just what I wanted, a classic meh. I don't even know what it said.
Yeah.
I didn't read it fast enough.
It kind of looks like 2D Armored Core.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of customizable stuff, and it doesn't say it's a FromSoft game, but it totally could pass as one.
Yeah. Oh, they got a rewind, a slow-mo.
After that, you got Snow Bros. Wonderland coming in 2024. This looks like a sequel to Snow Bros., which I don't.
Oh, that's what this game is.
Tatsujin is who's developing it, but I want to say this was like an old school like Dreamcast maybe game back in the day. It might even be arcade for Snow Bros. Like Snow Bros is old.
This looks really fun though.
Yeah, it's almost like Bomberman like.
Yeah.
But
I like the pinball effects.
yeah.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, it's really sick.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it before. I like how like they got these like cute little random
Snow
guys and then this like anime chick.
Right.
Like very over detailed.
And then after that and the ads, then we got Gimmick 2. I guess it's a little bit of a reveal. I never played the first Gimmick, but it's another 2D side-scrolling kind of thing.
I think I have played that, maybe.
Yeah, the green guy looks familiar to me.
Yeah. Well, he could just be like Green Kirby, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. This game's already out, the next one, but it's a physical release of Penny's Big Breakaway. Oh, this game is something else. What the fuck is this? How far did we skip?
I just went up to the next guy.
Oh, weird. Maybe this is a game that's already been passed and they just
paddle ball.
Oh, this is that CRS, C Smash VRS.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I guess it's a VR game that Pong in VR? Huh.
Finally.
Yeah. Weird.
I could play Pong without losing my ping pong ball. I feel like it's probably pretty, it's probably satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those, like, I could probably just sit on my couch.
Right.
Mindlessly just all day.
Yeah, because you got it in VR and then you got it on Switch, too.
Two-player. I wonder how synced
fun.
that is.
Yeah, I wonder.
That would be my only concern. It's like, oh, clearly is it?
An audio video.
Oh, okay.
We got other things, too.
It's neat.
C Smash VRS. It's weird because
I'm never gonna play this, but it looks really cool.
This was at like the top of the rundown.
I wonder if
so deep. And I was like, did we skip this? I don't remember seeing this.
I wouldn't imagine it got edited for any reason.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay,
this looks sick.
Looks cool.
Next game is Penny's Big Breakaway. This game's out. This is made by the Sonic team.
Yeah, the yo-yo chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to play this, actually.
I think it's on everything now. It might be on... Was that on Game Pass? Is this a Game Pass game?
I didn't check this morning. I haven't turned my thing on yet, but I've been trying to stay up to date on those.
Yeah.
At least play them for a moment.
Really? You're better than I am, because, like, I've been subscribed. I don't think I've played a Game Pass game. I guess Little Kitty Big City.
Every time I turn it on, it's the first. I scroll down, see if any new games are added.
Yeah.
See how big, if I can if I have the room for them, and then.
That's a good call.
If they're like smaller games, I'll at least sample them. Just so like if they do get brought up again, I'll be like, oh yeah. Because I'm so far behind on old games, I might as well try to at least
keep up with new ones.
Keep semi up to date with the new ones, and then if I don't play them, I'll watch someone else play them, and then.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
But this looks honestly like a really fun, like.
Yeah.
Very Sonic-y, but like in its own.
In its own way, for sure. Yeah. It got a bunch of 8 out of 10s kind of thing. Yeah. People seemed okay with it.
Yeah, if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely try it out.
I think people were expecting more from it from being the Sonic Mania people, but it's their first 3D platformer.
That isn't Sonic.
Yeah, it's their first game that's isn't Sonic, period.
Right. So it's like they're Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's already a big deal.
Yeah. It looks like next is the Beyond Good and Evil HD remake thing. This is out now. This was leaked forever ago. I think we talked about this leaking. There was one day, like 8 months ago or something, where Ubisoft just like put it out one day on accident. It just appeared digitally on stores.
Oh wow.
And they took it down very fast. But it was available for purchase. I think it's $30. It might be $20. But it has a new ESRB rating, which is weird. Yeah, they went through all the trouble for that. It's a complete remake, from what I understand. It also has
award-winning adventure.
Yeah, it is a cult classic. People really adore this game.
Is that like Jack and Daxter kind of?
Yeah, very.
Animation?
It's that. It is that. It's exactly that. It's Jack and Daxter, Zelda, like.
You're a chick.
Ocarina of Time was 2 years before this game. Jack and Daxter is probably the same year as this, actually.
What do you? Yeah, so it's basically that though. It's like you're jumping around, kind of completing a story.
Right. But the reason why this
want to see gameplay
is this is gameplay. A lot of it is what you're saying is the gameplay. It's
really? It just seems like a giant.
There's like QTs and stuff like that in the cutscenes.
What's with the camera thing?
You're a photographer.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was hoping to see.
Yeah, you're like a reporter. Or
I love a game
like
where
that.
you can take photos. You should see my photo album in
Yeah, I don't.
like a dragon.
Oh, really?
It's so silly. Yeah,
I don't remember how big the photo mechanic came into play. This is the next Jay and Silent Bob game. This actually might be already out. Chronic Blunt Punch.
I think so. Actually, I think I saw this advertised on Silent.
Yeah.
I follow one of them on Facebook.
I thought they had a beat 'em up already, but maybe they just announced this a long time ago. Which
Maybe,
totally
yeah.
could be the case.
Yeah.
Now, this looks a lot different than what I remember. The one that I remember was a little bit more pixely.
Same.
I forgot what I was talking about beforehand. Oh, Beyond Good and Evil. The one thing that is different about that, they added a mission into the game to connect that one with the sequel that will eventually come out, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, with Beyond Good and Evil 2, it was announced when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced.
Wow.
Do you know when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced?
Like 2008.
Close. Pretty close. 2006.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's been almost 20 years since
yeah.
it got
That's a big
announced.
You're skipping
So
ahead,
much so that it's been rebooted several times over, and the last time that we saw like the reboot version of it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt came on stage and it was like, you can create art for the game and we'll stuff this game full of your art for free.
No way.
Yeah, and that was like a huge controversy because it was
yeah.
like, how are you going to pay these artists? Right. Oh, you're not.
We're not. We're just using you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
like,
but it's like free publicity.
Right. It was like, you
Yeah,
could see your art on this billboard in the game.
Wasn't there a game that came out like a while, probably at least 10 years ago, probably 2000, maybe longer, but maybe I'm dreaming this, but I feel like there used to be a game that came out, and when it came out, they were going to recreate. It was like an online, like everyone, it was like an online thing. Everyone was playing it, and then like they were gonna recreate it into a TV show by like what happened in the game, like how the game
that kind of
played out.
Huh.
Like they were gonna take what we chose as a community in the game and then rehash it into a TV show. But I don't think that ever actually happened. I think it was just an idea. At one point, we don't have to look. We don't have to interrupt this flow.
I was just gonna look it up.
I only thought of. I mean, after this weekend, maybe.
I remember,
but it just made me think of that because of the art thing.
Was it like a shooter, a multiplayer shooter thing?
I don't know if it was a shooter. If
I
it was like
Defiance.
Kind of, maybe. I can't even remember the name, but that could be it because I think it was just one name, but
Yeah.
it was just like. It wasn't like a GTA, but it was something similar where it was like an open world, like people were like making decisions
this
and
was
stuff.
Defiance was like a Destiny-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was also a sci-fi TV show at the same time.
Yeah, so maybe that might be it. Maybe I just.
Yeah, I don't remember I remember the pilot coming out at the same time as the game, and I don't remember where they connected. If it was just a lore thing, and
maybe that's what it
a
was.
supplementary like lore where you don't have to get the lore from the game itself, and if you want to dive deeper, like Destiny kind of does some of that stuff with like comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I've heard, I mean, over the last 3 weeks, the new Destiny expansion is like the fucking bee's knees, apparently.
Really?
Which is, I mean, last year that last expansion that came out, they were super negative on. It went from being like a 5 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10. That's a huge jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Beyond Good and Evil is a fine game. I'd say it's worth playing. I don't know if it's worth $20, but I think it's back compat.
Yeah.
So, if you can find the Xbox copy for cheaper than that, or the 360 version for cheaper than that, the only thing is you want to get that side mission that connects it all.
Right.
But Beyond Good and Evil 2 might as well be vaporware at this point.
It might never come out.
Right. So like, The last time they showed it off was 2017, I think, and they announced it being a prequel.
Oh, interesting.
And then Jade from the Jade that you just saw in that trailer
Yeah.
is somehow like the leader of a space pirate gang thing, and then somehow she goes back into being a
regular
small reporter.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also I believe that after they rebooted the development, they changed directors because the director had died.
Oh wow.
So like
that's how old it is.
Yeah. Yeah. This is another beat 'em up. Same style as the more of the Power Rangers stuff. This also got announced kind of a while ago. A lot of these are announcements that have already been said, but I don't think we had seen gameplay up until this point. This is the Toxic Crusaders. This is like all the Tromaville kind of wheelhouse stuff. Are you a Troma fan? Do you watch?
I don't think I know what that is.
No?
No.
Well, I mean, the Toxic Avenger is like the big ones. That's also where the South Park guys got their start with Cannibal the Musical. And Troma's been around forever, man. I think you more than anyone that I know needs to watch Troma movies.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah, dude, like fucking redneck chickens from outer space and like fucking, God, Cannibal the Musical is a big one. That's where Matt Stone, Trey Parker, they're
50 years of disrupting media.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, since the 70s. It's hyper gory, hyper
I've
violent.
heard of the Toxic Avenger,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that was like a movie or anything. I thought it was just like a character, like a joke.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it is a joke, but it's also
a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
So what are they just like? Everything's ugly.
It's very low budget B-rated stuff.
Poultry guys.
But yes,
there's a lot of interesting titles.
There's
here.
a lot of. It's a lot of shock and awe kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's. I mean, movies that are made for like $10,000.
Right.
Like kind of stuff, and like.
Wow.
A lot of these
I feel
tapes were traded with people and stuff like that.
Starting a whole new chapter of my life, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Troma's crazy. Yeah. After the Troma, the Toxic Crusaders, they showed off Hitman Blood Money. I think Cannibal the Musical is probably honestly.
Oh, did we skip it? Sorry, I was
you're cool.
reading Troma stuff.
Hitman Blood Money. I mean, that game's been out for a while, but it came out on Switch.
Oh man, did you see the new Hitman DLC?
No.
That just came out.
No.
Oh man, dude, Hitman's just got so cool. I mean, I'm a little behind, but like, it's gotten so much more. Like outside of the game itself, like they're starting to do like seasonal events in old maps.
Oh.
So like there's a map right now. It's the Flower Gala or whatever, and it's an old map, but everything is like summerfied. There's like flowers everywhere.
Cool.
It's a whole new thing. And now they got one of the I forgot who, Conor McGregor, one of the fighters from UFC.
Yeah.
He's in the game as himself, but as someone you have to kill in the game. They created this whole storyline around him and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Hitman's like turning this whole new like.
Hell yeah!
And they now they're tracking all of your stuff, so your account's even more like unique.
Right.
Like
Yeah, once they added the roguelike
more competitive
stuff,
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they added the roguelike stuff, and they started super. Tracking stats and
you
stuff
have you have a room now that you can go to and look at
right.
I haven't even dove into it yet. I literally just downloaded it a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, Yeah, that's been
But
out for a while. People love that.
but the Conor
whole
McGregor
movie.
thing is like the biggest thing recently with the seasonal events.
Maybe I did see a trailer for that. Is it like kind of like tied into his character in from the movie that he's the Roadhouse bodyguard in Roadhouse, that new reboot? Is he like a
He's still a fighter.
rough and tough? Oh, okay, he's
He's
not a
still
bodyguard.
No, he's still
or
a. I
anything?
think he is just. I think he's
A
just
bouncer?
himself. Like, or maybe he might be a bouncer to a fighter, but I know that it takes place in a ring eventually
okay.
or whatever.
Um,
And I'm
That's
pretty
cool.
sure his name might still be Conor McGregor in the game.
oh,
I can't remember exactly.
I mean that's quite possible. I know. I haven't seen the Roadhouse reboot. I don't even know if I've seen the original one.
Yeah.
That's the movie where he punches a dude's head off, though.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think that's that
I don't
movie.
think I've seen that.
Yeah. But yeah, Conor McGregor's the new one.
I think I saw the ending of Roadhouse, but I thought it was Dirty Dancing, and then I was just really confused because there was no music the whole time
Yeah.
or dancing, and I was like, when were they supposed to?
Right.
Did I miss that part?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I didn't even know what the ending of that movie
And those are
would
the
be.
only two Patrick Swayze movies I know.
I didn't even know there was a Patrick Swayze movie. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
We're
don't
learning
know,
something.
man.
I learned trauma. You learned Patrick Swayze was in 2 movies. We did it.
Yeah. Well, here's a game that gave this is the video game that invented lesbian. Not this one. This
I
is
just want to see
Hitman.
him open his eyes. Creepy.
The game that invented lesbians. Fear Effect is the next one that they are going to be putting through the Carbon engine. Fear Effect was a PS1 horror game, kind
I
of
played
like
this.
around. Yeah, you probably did. I think they've did 2 other sequels, I
That's
believe.
really familiar.
I mean, if you were into video games as a kid, you saw the magazine ad of the 2 girls, like, kind of like hugging each other.
Yeah. I know I've seen this guy before,
Yeah.
for sure.
And they don't even show the other chick in this.
Yeah, that's crazy. They let you get into it this time before
Yeah.
you're like full.
It's not all lesbians. Well, speaking of hot ladies, after that, what is this? This is not what.
It's war.
This is not the rundown that I got. Is this Helldivers?
It looks like it, or like a Halo or something. Does look like
It's
Helldivers.
yeah. This does look like Helldivers.
Helldivers for the.
Or the Earth Defense Force. I know there is a new EDF coming. There's like an EDF 6 coming soon. Weird that it's not on this rundown. What the fuck? What the fuck, GameSpot?
Snuck it in.
Snuck it in. Well, now I mean they can't see it, so you can skip.
Alright.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, they can't see this?
No.
Oh, I've just been
No.
rewinding it for.
They can see my screen, but they can't see that screen.
okay. Alright,
I
well
think
then.
this is gonna die soon too, which sucks. I tried it. The battery on this thing, is not as good as what it once was. After whatever that was, they are also doing another remake of Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Speaking of trauma,
I played this game. Is this a trauma game?
it's loosely related to trauma.
Oh, I was gonna say I played this game, so maybe I have entered this.
James
trauma universe.
Gunn, the creator of Lollipop Chainsaw
Yeah.
and Guardians of the Galaxy,
What a crazy resume.
it got his start in trauma.
Oh wow.
He did like
Okay.
5 or 6 trauma movies actually.
Wow. Now that I've seen some of the trauma titles and stuff,
Yeah.
just now I can already see like the imagery. And
Right.
I've played this game, so now I really like.
Yes.
I get it. Yeah, I loved this game. Honestly, it was really like it was short. It wasn't very
Yeah.
long, but it was like quirky
It's fine. It's a good game.
and
I remember. I don't.
smooth.
I don't remember it being a great game. I remember it being good.
I remember it being
I don't know how.
entertaining.
Yeah, I don't know how well it would
I was also a
Hold up.
younger, more like a horny teenager.
Right.
So this game also did that to me too. I was like, yeah,
Right.
I'm a hot chick. I'm a hot chick.
Yeah, because this was like 2010 maybe, if that, at that point.
Yeah.
Jessica Negri, like baby Jessica Negri, like just starting out modeling. Yeah, old
Repop.
game now.
Yes.
It's insane to say. We got a few more games. We got a game called Double Shake. I never heard of. It looks like another remaster kind of thing, but with limited run, sometimes
This game?
yeah. Sometimes I can't tell what's a remaster and what's a new game until
This
looks
is
like
just
a remaster.
This is just that that one game with the. This is just the girl version of that guy with the pink hair that attacks the pigs and shit.
Oh no, Tomba? Well,
Yeah.
we'll see Tomba. They're making that as well.
This is Tomba, a girl Tomba.
Is that
And they
right?
made her like way too thick and weird. Like, why is she?
Are you being serious or?
I think no. I really think this might be like Girl Tomba.
Really. I'll look it
Is
up.
it made by the same people? It looks so like even that meat. That I'm pretty sure that's the same meat bubble.
Double Shake on Steam.
Look at that.
No, it's inspired by them, but it's not. It's not a.
It's not the same team, but okay.
No.
But you can see there's heavy inspiration.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of immediately.
I don't think I've actually played
I like Tomba.
Tomba.
Tomba was fun.
Um,
There was what I really liked about Tomba. It was a 2D like side thing.
Yeah.
But there were so many like hidden things that you could do, even just in like the first level. There were just like so many hidden little things you could do. What's this? Bunch of people walking around a house.
Yeah, so the next one is a game called Ghosts, and again, this one also looks like a newer game, and they're not showing gameplay for us, but this also looks like a new game. The next one is also a new game. This is Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. They announced this like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's a 2D platformer, kind of like the old Game Boy ones.
Mm.
But it has this art style, and then it has an old actual Game Boy version of the game as well.
Is it the same game, or they just?
Yeah, it's the exact same game, and you can swap like back and forth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it looks cool, but I'm not good at these.
Yeah, I do
I
like
was-
the art style though. Both
Right.
of them, honestly.
I've kind of had a hankering to watch like old Rugrats and Hey Arnold and stuff like that
Yeah.
for some reason, and I don't know why.
Here's your sign.
Yeah, right. Well, that sign, I've known that game's coming out for a while. I don't know if I necessarily want to play it, like I said, but if they did like old remasters of like the PS1, that would be great. We got the Gex trilogy. They announced this last time as well, but we didn't see any gameplay. With the Carbon engine, though, we've kind of like. It seems like they're not really. The Carbon engine doesn't do anything to the game itself.
Mm.
That's what it seems like. It just seems like it makes it playable on modern stuff. It doesn't seem like they're doing any like extra work to make it pretty,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I was hoping
But-
for a little bit smoother, but
Yeah, this will be the whole trilogy though, so that's cool.
okay.
I think there might even be the demo, if not something related to Kid Gex. There's also a Gex Junior game as well that's outside of the trilogy. We got the new Shantae game, Shantae
Oh, yeah.
Advance.
The girl with the hair weapon.
Yeah, yeah.
The girl with the crazy neck problems. Why does my neck always hurt? Because I'm just headbanging to attack.
Right. I think the first Shantae game that they did for like PS4 is like the most expensive PS4 game now.
Wow.
Um,
Really?
yeah. Yeah, it's like 400, 500 bucks for some
Oh,
reason.
Lord.
This was supposed to be a Game Boy Advance game, and it just never came out. So now they're finally like finishing it and making it. But it's called Risky's Revolution. Is the actual title of this. Shantae Advance is the name. Yeah, yeah, it's another one of those. If you like the Shantae games, this seems like it's gonna be a good one. It doesn't look as pretty as the other newer ones, but like I said, it was a Game Boy one beforehand. This is Ninja 5-0. This is another beat 'em up, more closer to Ninja Gaiden, of course. This has been out for a while as well. The music for this game fucking rips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Next one after that is Clock Tower. We've seen Clock Tower. I'm really excited for that game. It's just straight up a remake of that original. But the original we never got in the United States, so it's pretty cool.
It's like a horror game?
Yeah, it's like one of the original survival horror games.
Oh, wow.
This came out, the original one came out for Super Famicom, which would be the Super Nintendo here, but it never came to the US. The clock towers that we would eventually get would be 2 and 3. I think there was kind of like a Redux version of the first one. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you got the Mr. Scissorman. And there goes my laptop. It died that fast.
Womp. Mr. Scissorman.
Gross.
You got your laptop.
What the fuck, laptop?
Oh, so you're like running from him the whole time while trying to...
Right.
Oh, man, and he pops out of the thing.
Yeah, you got some ways to defend yourself, but you're not like killing anything.
No, it's just like the guy that follows you in Resident Evil.
Right. It's very adventure puzzle-ish.
Yeah. Honestly, this looks really sick. Yeah. I love that swap back to this thing. If that happens in the game, that's really cool. I like that.
Right. I mean, they're giving all of these games like this concept art that looks like this, but they still look like their old stuff. Like Kex also has art like this as well.
Well, like if this is like what the cutscenes look like, I don't mind playing that.
That would be sick.
Game.
But
honestly, I kind of want to. Oh, they got little.
There's not even like. There's not cutscenes in it, from what I understand. Like, there's, like, text and stuff.
There
Here's your
is.
Tomba.
Tomba
Special Edition. This game is soon, I believe. I think this is, like, September. But they're doing a huge Special Edition for this and everything. So, as a Tomba fan, you might want to jump on that. Because, yeah. I mean, when's the last time Tomba anything came out, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, this seems like it's gonna be the crazy thing. At the end of this, there is also another reveal that they are going to be doing the second one. It's not just gonna be the first one; it will be the second one. Which is, I do think it's
Switch.
weird.
Maybe I'll get it for Switch. It's probably
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be. You got time. You got time to buy a new console. And just buy a PS5 just for Tomba. But you'd also be buying it for Tomba too.
That's true.
They will be, they
Tomba
are also doing the second one. Yeah, like I said, I never played these ones, but I've seen so much of this game before.
It's one of those cult classic games. I think.
Right. I think it was because it was on Dreamcast, right? It was on PS. I know it was on PS1, but
yeah, I had it for PS1. I don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, I had a PS1 very late, and by the time it was relevant, I had, like, a PS2. And then that also played PS1 games, but I was rarely playing PS1 games at that point. So there's, like, a whole catalog of games from, like, when I was, like, 3, 4, or 5 that I just never played. I also had a lot of N64 stuff. I think that's what they end on. Oh, no, what they end on is this. They announced that they are doing the Bubsy Trilogy. Do you know who Bubsy the Cat is?
No.
He was also from the Sonic.
James Bond.
Yeah, well, I mean that they also did that with. This is the Gex bit.
Yeah,
Like 5 minutes
that's
ago.
what I thought they were about to do. I was like, why are they doing another Gex game?
This is Bubsy 1, 2, and 3. Bubsy 3 is technically Bubsy 3D. And then they didn't make a sequel to Bubsy for like 2 decades almost, up until like 2017. But yeah, I don't know. It's the first 2 are apparently decent platformers, and the third one is revered as one of the worst games of all time.
So let's just bring them all back.
Right. That's the meme. A lot of the limited run bringing back old games thing has been, let's just remaster bad games.
Right.
So like,
maybe they'll be better if they're
right, if they actually start putting out decent games. Because like they've done like plumbers don't wear ties and stuff like that, or
right.
like nobody wants to play this weird 3DO slideshow game. It's very strange choices, but I have a list of other things on here. There's the Dr. Disrespect stuff that happened. Dr. Disrespect, we don't have to put anything on the TV for that, but Dr. Disrespect got caught messaging a minor 4 years ago, is the story.
Yeah.
And that is why he got banned off Twitch. It came out because somebody on Twitter who had worked for Twitch at the time had leaked the information to get publicity for his band. He was like, come buy tickets to the show, and if I sell enough tickets, I'll say what happened to Dr. Disrespect.
Wow.
And it was really weird and shady and shit. And that happened. He said it. He was like, Dr. Disrespect, you know, he was texting this 17-year-old. They were planning on meeting at TwitchCon, and Twitch pulled the plug on that and banned him immediately.
Wow.
We now know that it's somewhat true because Dr. Disrespect cannot shut the fuck up. Rather than, you know, waiting for lawyers or just letting it blow over and stuff, he commented on the Twitter post and said no wrongdoing was acknowledged by the court of law.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Nothing happened. The correct thing was, I should read it better. It was no wrongdoing was acknowledged in the court of law, and everything was settled outside of court or something.
That doesn't make it any less creepy, though.
Right. It's because they never met up, so technically, yes, no wrongdoing was ever acknowledged.
The wrongdoing started... the text was the wrongdoing.
The wrongdoing, right.
That's the initial... You initiated the wrongdoing.
Right.
With intent.
And, like, we know that he was, like, messaging stuff and being unfaithful to his wife. There was, like, that whole drama shit.
Right.
And then Dr. Disrespect on top of that. Where is... There's a bunch of news stories now from all the different things he's been pulled from.
Right.
As well.
He
which
keeps
is part of the
digging
story.
His own grave.
Yes, yeah, he just keeps running his mouth.
Even on, like, live stream and stuff now.
Right, because he's been banned off Twitch for, like, years at this point. He's been off Twitch for years, but, like, he has an exclusive partnership with YouTube now, and YouTube hasn't said what they're going to do, or anything, and I don't think they will yet.
I feel like this shouldn't have been just swept under the table.
Well,
rug.
I think that's what Twitch tried to do. Like Twitch was like, we're just gonna like pay you out quietly and just like pretend this
I
never
don't think
happened.
that should have happened. I think that should have been public 4 years ago.
Right, but I mean, it is one of those things where like, yeah, technically it is fucked up and stuff, but you can't legally be like, he's a pedophile.
Sure,
until,
you can't.
Until he's like.
You're right. You can't. But you should let everyone else know
right.
that this is the kind of person he is, and then let everyone decide. So that way he doesn't have. So he's not. He basically was like. He got slapped on the wrist and then just moved on to continuing to be a rich streamer.
Yes.
With the same freedoms.
Right.
Of this is like that Chris D'Elia stuff that's been happening the last decade or whatever.
Right. I think from what I understand is that also there was like a non-disclosure agreement signed, and I think that was also signed with the minor.
It must have been, yeah, because I was gonna say I can't imagine they would have not said anything, but which is even crazier.
Right.
That they're even allowed to do that.
Well, I mean,
I guess it's out now.
Just because it's fucked up, I mean, it is fucked up to think about. It also doesn't mean that the minor didn't want it or did want, like...
Yeah, for
she
sure.
Totally...
It's Dr.
Disrespect,
yeah.
and that's like...
No, absolutely, but
so,
it still doesn't make it...
There might not have been an
part.
ill will kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where that's why they done it... Well, I mean, they're not going to give away a minor's name regardless. But that's probably why, to protect the
if nothing like
identity.
creepy was said, if it was strictly like a...
Right.
Hey, let's just meet up at this place. I can see, alright, still kind of weird, but at least you're just like hanging out in the food court, you know? But as soon as like creepy stuff gets talked about, that's where it should be made public, because that's where it's like, we can't continue to let people like that
right, but
in
you
the
also,
entertainment business.
Because it technically was never acted upon, it's like, I mean, Connecticut's different, but in some states you can just fire somebody to fire somebody, right? But you can never say why you fire somebody. That's where it becomes illegal. So I believe with the California Court of Law and stuff like that, that's where that kind of stuff would start to get hairy. But these people that are relaying this information now don't work on Twitch anymore. Right. So they're hands free now.
Yeah.
They don't have. I mean, dude's trying to like sell tickets for his $10 punk show or whatever.
Yeah. He's moved on.
Yeah. I don't think he ever was part of it to begin with, kind of thing. You know?
Just a friend of a friend.
Right. He just happened to work there at the right time.
Yeah.
And be privy to that information. But this is words from him. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you the side of the story regarding the ban. And then, let me see if it has more of the whole quote. Because this dude goes... Yeah. The Twitch fan, hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about. And I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me and my team and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. Which is that game studio he co-founded as like an NFT project thing, and they have completely... They're like, we don't want any part with him, he's out. Right. Which, from what I understand, like, the whole studio kind of, like... The whole... I mean, it was riding on him. And, like, nobody knows who the rest of the people are, right?
Yeah, he's the character. Yeah, he built up this industry that's around him right now, yeah.
Right. So, like, that's a huge deal, because they just don't... They're like, yeah, fuck that dude. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I. We made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented people that have high career ambitions and families. I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control. There's that line again. I can now tell you why my story. I can tell you my side of the story regarding my ban. There's like 7 more paragraphs. This is crazy, dude. This is a Twitch post as well, or not a Twitch post. This is a Twitter post.
It's a Twitter. Don't you have like limited?
Unless you pay for it, or if you have a blue check mark. You get like the special things. Yeah. You can make it like a post rather than a tweet.
A blog.
Yeah, a blog post thing, which it looks like. It looks like a note almost attached to a tweet. Where was I? Oh, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual miter in 2017? The answer is yes. Is what he says.
Nice.
The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual and mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing
sometimes
illegal.
Lean in the direction. I've never once spoken to anyone that I
like your titties, but I don't really mean it.
Hey, I like your titties. I as a casual thing.
Yeah.
Casually, I love to see your tits in person. As friends.
Right. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch that in that case was resolved by a settlement. The reason why he never met the individual is because Twitch banned him before he was able to go to TwitchCon.
Right.
The year before this, he got banned on Twitch before that at TwitchCon because he filmed live streaming in a bathroom. He walked into a bathroom and just started live streaming everything in the bathroom.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. Also really weird.
Yeah.
I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and the case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Nobody said that I did anything bad.
Right. I mean, because it'd be one thing if it was just like a casual conversation, like, oh, I'm a big fan, you know, like, because, I mean, obviously you're going to have underage fans.
Right.
You can't help that. And if they message you, like, oh, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, you're allowed to reply. Right. You're allowed to have a casual, like, oh, that's so sweet, I'm glad I, you know, whatever. But it's when you start getting, like, you know, personal and stuff, that's when it gets weird. And then when you start defending yourself before people are even accusing you, that's when it's like, all right, well, now you're telling on yourself.
Right. So, like, with the Twitter thing as well, they never... I don't think Dr. Disrespect's name was ever brought up, technically. It was, let me tell you why a leading streamer got banned on Twitch.
Yeah. And people just did the math.
Let me tell you about this. This person did this.
Right.
Not people did the math. Dr. Disrespect did the math and commented on the fucking post. He commented on the post.
He called himself out before there were even any names.
Right.
involved.
What did he say? I read it a minute ago.
That's funny.
It was like... Fuck. Where is it? In the statement... Oh, fuck. Dr. Disrespect, private messages, Beam shared a lengthy post of Twitch. God, I wish he had the comments on here, but he commented on the post.
I remember what you said earlier.
You're right.
Yeah, because he just made like a simple little like the allegation, something about the allegations didn't hold up in court or something.
Right, which that's part of this big blog post thing,
Yeah.
which, so even before this, he just commented on the dude's post and it was like, you don't fucking know shit kind of thing.
And then people were like, wait a second,
right.
Why did you get so defensive?
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
so he told on himself, which makes it even more like shady.
You're right. And then within the matter of a night, it's like 24 hours. He posts this after Midnight Society had already gotten rid of him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I leave off? Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case. No, yeah, okay. Now from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with, and that's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I fucking own my shit. This was stupid. I don't know what being a husband or a father has to do with you texting.
Right, if anything, that makes it worse.
Children.
You probably shouldn't have put that in there.
Right. Don't drag your fucking family in it.
Like, leave them out of it. They're already embarrassed.
Right. So, the family thing is weird because of the cheating thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
Where they, in 2017 or something like that, Dr. Disrespect got caught cheating, I imagine at a TwitchCon, texting one of his, in whispers or whatever. He gets caught, and he publicly apologizes for his infidelity, out of character. Not as Dr. Disrespect, as Guy Bean.
It's funny that someone that looks like Dr. Disrespect thinks he can be sneaky. Like, he literally wears bright red.
Right.
All the time.
He still has, the mustache is real.
He has, it's a real facial feature, so even if he took the vest off, he's a very recognized, it's like Mickey Mouse walking around the hallways, and he thinks like, oh, I can just go down the hall to this hotel room with a lady. Like, no, everyone knows who you are at these conventions. Everyone.
It is
the workers... Like, you're a face.
Right.
You're not sneaking around anywhere.
He takes off his glasses and the wig, and he still looks like Dr. Disrespect.
This guy.
It's insane.
That's not the career you choose if you want to be a sneaky sneakster.
Right. Well, speaking of sneaky sneakster, what's more sneaky than a ninja assassin? So when when he got caught cheating...
Yeah.
They made his wife a character on his streams.
What do you mean?
They made her a character.
Like
she has her own Dr. Disrespect wife, persona. After he got caught cheating, so she could keep an eye on him while he's streaming.
Seen this, but that is incredible.
Yeah. So. That's even more.
Wait, they just put that into the lore?
Yeah.
Like his outer character.
He was like, I'm gonna start streaming with my wife more.
So his real life person. Not Dr. Disrespect. Him as a human.
Right. Went and apologized.
Cheated on his real time wife.
Yeah.
And then they took that situation into their fantasy world.
Right, because this fantasy world is what started all of this. Right?
No, absolutely. I mean, you're right. He wouldn't be Dr. Disrespect without it, but it's weird to just be like, "Hey, wife."
And he can't be caught. He can't be trusted on Twitch because he's whispering women. So
is she like?
She's fucking hovering over his shoulder.
Is she just like a purple? Vested lady, or just like the Power Ranger head?
Something like that.
Like fucking the guy all the Power Rangers go to.
Let me see if I can pull up Dr. Disrespect wife character.
And now she has to get tied into this? What did she do before this? Like, what was she doing?
Mrs. Assassin and their daughter as Baby Assassin.
Wow.
That's what they call him.
This might have been something that they were planning beforehand, and that they just, like, double downed on afterwards.
No.
No?
No.
Wow.
This is definitely like he has said, "Oh, because of my stupid fucking mistakes."
Yeah, but what are...
End quote.
I don't understand how this is preventing him from still doing that. Just because his wife, like, he can still...
Right.
He's not streaming 24/7. He can, like, he's gonna find a way.
Right. I mean, obviously it didn't help because he got banned
Right.
after.
Oh, that's true, yeah. This was all on Twitch.
Right.
So this happened and then... Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I
the
never
cheating
saw that.
thing was like 2017.
My timeline is... okay.
Yeah, so the cheating thing was 2017, right?
He cheated.
Twitch Whispers happened in 2019.
Okay.
That's when the last
So
Twitch
he cheated with a
is gonna
full-grown
happen.
woman.
Right.
Then the wife got added to the stream, which I never saw, which is crazy because you think that would be like part of the
Right.
memes.
I guess she
but-
doesn't have like a full outfit. She just wears like a purple spandex suit thing.
That's funny. Do you have like a picture or something?
It didn't look like she had a full body picture. It was more like
Oh.
concept art.
I just want to see if maybe I recognize it.
Dr. Disrespect.
Alright, so he cheated. They became a duo thing on
Mrs.
Twitch.
Assassin.
He still found a way to whisper to the young chick, and then he was banned. Did she come back onto the YouTube scene as Miss Assassin?
I'd imagine she's part of that. She doesn't post anything on
That's even weirder because he's like,
Instagram.
like,
The last time she posted on Instagram was 2020.
huh? That's super strange because they just constantly pump out
Right.
stuff, I feel. He's streaming all the time, which makes me feel like she probably has her own life,
Yeah.
and that he kind of drug her into the stream thing
Oh yeah, for sure.
for that situation when she's still trying to juggle whatever she does.
I feel weird scrolling through her Instagram, but all of her Instagram pictures that she's not in any of these. It's just pictures of him in character.
Huh.
And
Yeah, you
then
don't have to
of their
keep
daughter,
investigating.
which
I
is
just-
weird. I don't want to be looking at their daughter
Yeah,
while we're
no.
talking about this.
Well, I thought that they would have like a joint
Yeah,
sort of
right.
assassin
100%.
Dr. Respect page or something. I didn't think.
I thought so too.
Or like videos.
Mrs. Assassin, her real name is unknown. I didn't know that. So she is
Yeah, that's a really horrible name.
completely. Nobody knows who
Imagine
she
being
is.
called unknown.
Really. That's crazy. She always calls her. He always calls her Mrs. Assassin, but yeah, nobody knows her name, which is even weirder when she keeps getting dragged into this shit.
Right. It's crazy that they were able to keep that anonymous considering
Right.
all the drama. Must be something. They must be paying people off. Keep my wife's name out of it.
That's what it said in the settlement, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess whatever you got to do to keep her not embarrassed at this point.
Now, with all this said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I am no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows fucking knows that where I stand on these things and those types of people, fuck that. That's a different level of disgust, and I fucking hate even hearing about it. Don't be labeling me as the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said enough what I've needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team and community and industry that have supported me, I apologize. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support through the years. We love you guys like you couldn't imagine. Scroll a little bit past this. There's a lot more of. Oh, these people, thank you so much for having my back in the day, but now you don't, and that sucks. But trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation. With my family, as mentioned on stream.
Which means he has to beg to not get divorced.
Right.
And
I would not be... I would imagine divorce paperwork has already been served.
oh man, I can't even. Yeah, I can't even.
For sure.
I mean, well, here's the thing though. If it's already been something that was taken care of 4 years ago, the family might already be aware of it. Because if it was court involved, they might already have had this conversation.
Right.
And then...
Yeah.
So now they're just kind of, like, dealing with it publicly, but, like, maybe as a family they're already past it. Because this might not be news to them.
Right.
And if it is, that might be a different discussion. But if it's not, then yeah, then maybe they are truly just, you know, going to go to fucking Spain for a week or whatever. Because they're rich, and they're just going to, you know. And I'm sure he can afford not streaming for a minute.
Yes. Yeah, maybe. I mean, now that he's lost all of his sponsors, he might want to start streaming a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, he lost his sponsors, but if he was smart and he, like, saved the money he made, he could probably sit on that for a minute.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He had enough sponsors that should have been able to, you know, unless he just spent all his money on bulletproof vests and spray paint.
Right, and wigs.
Right.
A bunch of remasters got announced.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to Dr. Disrespect. There'll be more news eventually of that story.
Yeah.
Whenever he rears his head next. They announced Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster shortly before they had a little Capcom like event thing. They only showed off 3 games, and all 3 of the games we knew about, so there was no point in us watching it.
Yeah.
But this was the one that we didn't know about, and then they announced it before the thing, so I was like, okay, well, holy shit, dude, this game's almost 20 years old. This is a launch 360 game, if you don't remember. This is so old that this is one of the first HD games.
Wow.
Yeah, it was such a huge deal. Like, text was illegible on like 480p monitors and stuff like that because it just was so high def.
I remember the magazines and stuff.
Right, yeah. I got OXM magazine with the Dead Rising demo disc.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be just a straight remake of that game.
Just cleaned up.
Very cleaned up, dude. It's in the RE engine.
With photos. All right.
Oh yeah. This is the photo game. It is insane what they've done to this. It
looks great.
It is crazy. From what I understand, you might. I think you have a way to go back and forth as well. I don't know why you would go back and forth.
Might be like on that, like the Halo remaster, where you just press select or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to kind of look. I'm sure it'd be cool to like compare.
Right.
Reminisce and then look at the new stuff. Like, oh wow, remember when this like fat lady in a wheelchair just looked like a blob?
Right.
And now she's like fully slimy. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, like
that's sick though.
So it's coming out digital first and then physical later.
Yeah.
Which is a weird trend that we've been doing.
I wonder if they like added anything. Like, I know you said it was just a complete remaster of the original. I wonder if they like secretly added any like updated weapons or anything, or if they will.
That
would be so cool.
That I don't know. So what I do know is that it's not the original voice actor. It is a brand new voice actor. Which, I mean, hey, if you're remaking it from the ground up, like, I get it. Like, it is kind of shitty that they apparently didn't even like ask the dude if he wanted to do it.
Yeah,
he said on
shitty.
Twitter.
I mean, if he's still alive, for sure, why not? Ask him?
He was like, yeah, they didn't even approach me. It's no biggie, but like, yeah, it wasn't even asked. So
right.
I guess people were asking.
I wonder what their reasoning for that was.
Right. It also, when they showed this off, they were also showing off the director of the current Resident Evils was the director of Dead Rising, or had like some thing to do with the original Dead Rising.
Oh.
Because the original Dead Rising is like, I think it's like one of Capcom's like. There used to be back in the day where Japanese studios would have like one rogue studio out in Canada, and Capcom's Canada studio, I think it was Capcom Montreal or whatever at the time, was the one who created Dead Rising.
Oh, okay.
And after Dead Rising 4, they shut them down. But they that studio doesn't exist anymore, so I guess the Resident Evil team might be the team on this. If the director is attached to the remake now. The big story pull other than this from that showcase is that they confirm Resident Evil 9. They don't show anything of it, but through dude's own words, they have like this fake interrogation thing.
It's supposed to be like an actual sequel, from what I've heard.
Right. The rumor is that it's going to be an open world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether that's like a big kind of like map thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, Evil Within 2 is technically an open world. If it's just Raccoon City, I'll be happy with that.
Maybe
if it's, I'd be so down with that. But I don't know, man. I don't. What do you do with a Resident Evil that's not linear?
Yeah, because there's a lot of like.
You make it super puzzly, I guess.
You'd have to, yeah, because there's a lot of. I mean, you could still include like. Trigger cutscene or jump scares and stuff, but.
Well, yeah, I could see like.
Because that's like what a lot of Resident Evil depends on, is that like, oh, you turn the corner, triggers a monster.
Right. I guess it's kind of like what I thought with Elden Ring too, where I was like, I don't understand how they would turn these games open world, but like, you just segment the levels as what you would in real life, where like, yeah, you can go to the police station and it's just the whole police station of Resident Evil 2.
Right.
Like, that's just a whole level. You have all of Resident Evil 3 in there because it's all the streets. You have the Spencer Mansion, that's all of Resident Evil 1. You know, like, you can do big set pieces that are 3-4 hours long in level size and still be pretty good.
And just give reasons to go back and circle through for different shit.
Right.
Puzzles and stuff.
And then from there, so are we talking about a 25-hour Resident Evil? Which is fine. That's more on the Resident Evil 4 side of Resident Evil, which is pretty long for them. I doubt we're talking about 10 hours like Resident Evil 8 or 7.
With the name, with the if you're gonna say open world, or that just gives you it just sounds like a longer game. Right,
but the other side of that is open world Elden Ring. And is it 180 hours? And is that too much Resident Evil? Especially when they still have a remake coming as well. Like, we have that in the can. We know that's coming. Whether that's Resident Evil 1, Veronica, or 0, we don't know yet, but it's something. I don't know. It seems like 9 will be the next one, though, which is weird, because they're kind of skipping. The cadence has been a mainline and a remake, maybe even 2 remakes. Well, I guess not. We just had Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm thinking Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 9 would be the next one in that case. So maybe we're a lot closer than what I think. But I feel like Village didn't get as much DLC. Like 7 got so much.
Yeah.
So they've been hammering away at something. Yeah, I thought they were gonna do a lot more with 8. Like, with the whole, Monster of the Week style thing. Like, I thought they were going to have more to that, but...
Yeah, they didn't really...
anything.
They didn't do too much. Maybe that's what they have in store.
Yeah. You just throw all the ideas in the open world. Make it as big. I just don't want it to feel bloated. I just want it to feel natural. Like, I think 8 was a great size of, like, if I was just able to go everywhere in 8 all the time, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But they kind of sectioned it off and made it linear with like a hub and spoke kind of thing, with the village being the openish part,
Right.
and then you kind of like go off. But
I feel like it would be like an escalation of that or whatever. Like,
yeah,
take parts of that and expand upon it. I mean, because like, in a way, you're closed off in the mansion in the first one, but that is I mean, it's open world in a way, because you can forever
You just go
roam
wherever.
those.
Right.
So like, if they were to take that, and like you were saying, you have all those different, the games all just is
Right.
that collectively.
For 7 and 8 being, I think 7 and 8, 4 as well. But 1, 2, and 3 are pretty. You can go wherever. Besides like a locked door, but
Right.
like you can go around the whole police station pretty much. You can go around the whole mansion. You can pretty much walk down any street in Raccoon City that'll allow you to at any point. I feel like Resident Evil 4 has a lot more gates in it, but it's been so long since I've played 4.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't touch the remake. I watched a little bit of it, but I really want to. I just don't have. I also don't have a modern console, so I
right.
haven't been able to play it. Yeah. The next thing, we got a couple of smaller things that are kind of like, not really throwaway, but like there's not really much to it. One, the Horizon TV show from Netflix has been canceled. We had not seen any of it. It was just rumblings that it was supposedly happening, but apparently now it's canceled and they're not doing it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's... We can't... Nobody knows if it was Sony's call or if it was Netflix's call. But if it was Netflix's call, then I'd imagine Sony still wants that being made.
Right.
This news is late, so I'm not gonna be the only one to say this, but like, it doesn't make sense to me. I guess a Horizon TV show, like 8, 9 episodes, 10 episodes of like giant mechanical beasts
I guess
and
if you had
giant
this,
fights.
I mean, it would be.
You know?
No, it would be 8 or 9 episodes of human drama.
Right.
And then the final episode would be, oh, we finally get to fight these things.
Right.
That's what it would be. You're not going to get fights every episode.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. You'll get to see the mechs.
And
Or whatever. It doesn't make sense. You're right. I mean,
Right.
that would, maybe a movie.
that's what I'm saying. I think you could get
like a
away with
Transformers or something.
Right, I think you could get away with $120 million movie
Mm-hmm.
and for Horizon and be fine. I mean, Deadpool 1 was $60 million, right? And then Avengers Endgame is $250 million.
Right.
So somewhere in the middle of that, you got Horizon with your giant robots and stuff like that, and your character action and
Yeah, I mean, if Transformers can do that, that's
trying to fill out 9 episodes with cave people and political intrigue with the cave paintings.
I mean,
know?
it's not impossible. Someone out there is going to be about the story.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know,
I mean, that's
they'll-
what that game is.
They'll find a way to make it
and Aloy
captivating, but
yeah.
I feel like a lot of games are trying to make the TV show jump, which is fine, but you could also just do a movie,
Right.
and I feel like in some ways that's better because
Well,
you're not trying to drag out. You can really just get a nice compact, get to the punch.
It is very strange where it seems like the ones where I thought would be TV shows are being made into movies. And then the other way of like, that would be a sick movie, but now it's 10 episodes.
Well, like Fallout, that one honestly I didn't think
Fallout's
was going to
really
be
good.
good, and it came out great.
Fallout's
amazing.
really good.
So it could be something like that where it's like,
Right.
I didn't even think they'd what were they going to do with Fallout, and they
Right.
were able to create like
A whole new
new thing. So maybe they had something in mind. I mean, now it's canceled, so maybe it was just like, we don't have anything.
Right.
All we had was giant mechs.
I think it's strange because not only are these games massive in scale, they're just massive games.
Mhm.
Like, they're not 10-hour games. These are 80-hour RPGs.
Yeah, they're already, yeah, they
they're
have
gigantic, and they have 2 massive DLCs for each one of the games.
thousands of hours of manpower put into them.
Right.
Yeah.
Where the cave people political intrigue is really the majority of that game.
Mhm.
It just so happens that the actual gameplay of the game is fighting these beasts and stuff, and there's a lot of horizon that they're leaning on right now. Where like they just announced that Lego game.
Yep.
They confirmed that there's a third game coming out. The VR game came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced the TV show.
Maybe that's why they pushed it back, because they're like, well, we're already kind of pushing Horizon. We'll let it get a lull, and then we'll pop the TV show out.
Right, but I think this TV show is supposed to come out around the Lego game.
Oh.
Like that's the dream, right? Is to have the game and the TV show lined up, because that's what this whole idea is building off
That's
of.
true, yeah.
People saw what happened to The Witcher,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, holy shit, we have something. And the plays were Twisted Metal. When was the last Twisted Metal game? PlayStation 3?
Yeah, I feel like Twisted Metal was more or less was just like, hey, we haven't made a game in a while.
Right. Well, they were planning on making one, and they just like canceled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the TV show was just enough. They're like, well, we don't need another game.
Yeah, maybe. If they put Anthony Mackie in it.
Yeah.
But it was the Destruction All-Stars team. It was like a launch game for the PS5.
Oh, yeah.
That did very badly
Mm.
at the time. But they had been working on a Twisted Metal, and then it got scrapped and switched over to a different studio, and then it's just gone dark, if not canceled completely.
Huh.
And then, I mean, I don't think that ever got technically announced. It was just one of those things that, like, word of mouth got big enough around it where, like, it just wasn't a secret anymore.
Right.
Then you got The Last of Us.
Yeah.
The Last of Us didn't have a new game, so they remastered games that are 5 years old. They're like, we gotta get part 2 out on PlayStation 5 immediately.
Right.
And I was like, well, okay, man, sure. But it works.
Yeah.
It works. Like, I don't know what the Twisted Metal copy sold, but instead of making a new game, they put all of the old ones out on PlayStation. I'd imagine they sold decent, but if they were, I don't know if they were, like, throwing them in front of people or anything. But The Last of Us, The Witcher, and Fallout have all seen major booms because of this.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, you're gonna do...
Yeah, where it was like, Fallout 4 has sold the best it's ever sold since launch.
Yeah.
And it like doubled its peak concurrence or something like that. Same thing with 76 as well. Whereas like 76 had like 10,000 concurrence or something insane for that game. I mean, sure, yeah, but like you can't. Nobody seems to be able to like get get it right kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean I mean Fallout probably was. Well, I don't know. I mean they all just kind of line up differently as far as what they're trying to do.
Right, and it's really hard when it's like it takes 2 weeks to, let's say, 6 months to film a TV show or a movie.
Right. There's a lot of planning on multiple ends.
Right.
So much coordination to make one thing happen, let alone a video game and a movie.
Right. How long is that video game in development? Because right now, like, we know that Red Dead took I mean, Red Dead's an example, but The Last of Us. The Last of Us took 7 years to develop?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Right.
We're in that development cycle where you're like, we're gonna make a TV show.
Yeah.
And then try to get the game out at the same time. I mean, The Last of Us, they didn't do that with, but
I feel like it's rushed. Honestly, I think it would just be better to put out one and then the other.
Right. There's weird Fallout and Starfield.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
I wouldn't try to line them up necessarily, because one, I feel like is going to always end up being, or feel rushed.
Right.
Like, if you want anything to come out, just let it happen organically.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what was so great about the Fallout show, where it was like it didn't have to rely on it.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, The Last of Us is straight up that first game. It's just that start to finish is that.
Which I feel like they made that more or less so that people, I mean, sure, they did it so more people would play the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But also so those that haven't played the game can still experience this really good story.
Right.
Because they knew what they had. They knew the story was great and that not everyone's going to be able to experience it. And I think they truly wanted to be able to share it
right
with more people. How are you going to do that but take away the game aspect?
Yeah. And I think what you see with those is that The Last of Us is its story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could do like some lore things, but you're not gonna like have Ellie go do some weird side adventure thing in the middle of all that. While Fallout is about the world,
mm-hmm.
and I mean The Witcher is about Geralt, but he goes on adventures. That's the whole. The Witcher books are a collection of short stories.
Right.
It really lends itself into that, even though there are recurring characters and kind of like, crescendos of character moments.
Mm-hmm.
That there is it's still very bite-sized compared to. They're saying the second game is gonna be like 3 seasons of the show.
Wow.
It's like, sure, man. I mean, it's long, but it didn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
So, like, you could have cut out half the game and it would have been a great game
mm-hmm.
still. So why do we cut out half the fucking show as well? Because I don't need to see Ellie go to San Diego.
Right.
I don't need that.
I mean, I feel like the audience isn't quite the same either. Like, the people that are playing the games aren't necessarily the people watching the show. I mean,
right.
I'm sure there is that.
You're 100% right. I mean,
but...
yeah, there's going to be the people that are like, I'm a Last of Us fan, so I'm going to go watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is definitely for the people that have never played The Last of Us to actually get that a household name.
Yeah, they won't have that, like, those ties. Same with the Fallout. Like, a lot
right.
of the people that watch Fallout, they've probably never even played a video game.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for
just scrolling down my Facebook, I'm like, you don't even know what this is.
For sure.
So,
yeah. And then with The Witcher, a lot of the Witcher stuff, even though, yes, the game is a thing, a lot of that is actually based off the book.
I was going to say, I didn't even know there were books, and that changes a lot, too, because if there were already books,
right.
that's just like them just finding another avenue to really share this world. I mean, like Lord of the Rings.
Cyberpunk as well.
Anything that went...
Actually, Cyberpunk's another
first.
Example from that studio specifically.
Oh, really?
Of, like, they made an anime, a Trigger...
Oh, yeah, true.
True. Trigger did that anime, Cyberpunk.
Which I heard is pretty good.
Yeah, people really liked it. And that came out at the right time where they had just patched everything and made that game playable again.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyberpunk, like, tripled its sales or something like that. Like, it sold a shit ton because of it. And, CD Projekt Red, just like... I mean, that game had already been out, and The Witcher's already been out, but The Witcher was their best-selling game of all time,
mm-hmm.
The Witcher 3. If it's probably in the top 100 best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was already such a cult... It's so easy for gamers to be like, this is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is, like, critically acclaimed, it's beautiful, and people understand, like, guy with sword pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with something that's so story heavy as that. Versus, like, they're talking about doing a Bloodborne show.
Yeah. It would just be depressing.
Right, but also, like, the character doesn't talk. Your character doesn't. I mean, other characters do, but...
That'd be another one, like any sort of game like that, like an Elden, or like a Dark Souls game, would be a good, like, horror movie, type...
Right. And
suspense film.
those are the stuff where, like, you're getting into lore, which brings us to the next one. I'm tying this in on purpose. Gurm himself had an interview recently, same thing with Miyazaki, Gurm being George R. Martin.
Oh, okay, you just gave him a cute nickname.
That's why he calls himself.
Oh, is it really? Gurm, that
Gurm.
alien creature.
GRM.
It's like, who the fuck is Gurm? All I imagined was just like a blob of flesh with a mouth for some reason.
Hey, dude, you're not...
That is pretty much true.
It's pretty close. They wanna make an Elden Ring movie.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I also heard they wanted to make an anime.
Yes.
I think it would be better as an anime just because of all the fighting scenes and stuff would look way cooler.
Right.
In anime form.
With Miyazaki involved, though, I don't think it will be that exactly. Like,
yeah.
Like, a Bloodborne story won't be a hunter story. I mean, it would be really cool if it was, like, Eileen the Crow or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think it's, like, lore shit. Like, I really think it's, like, the first hunt kind of stuff.
Yeah,
or
it would
like,
probably be some sort of, like, here's how the world was.
Right. Elden Ring, like, there's a whole, like, Game of Thrones aspect that happened before the game even started.
Yeah.
And that's all the stuff that George R. R. Martin had written out beforehand. Because the way Miyazaki and him have talked about it was, like, he basically wrote the lore Bible, and then Miyazaki set the game out, like, 1,000 years after that. And, I mean, the plan was to talk about Shadow of the Erdtree. We might wait until next week because I'm actually, like, I'm 18 hours into it right now.
Nice. Yeah, I'm almost done watching someone else play it, so
yeah,
we'll probably be done at the same time.
From what I understand, 18 hours is about a third of it.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't know how many parts. I'm on the third part of this guy playing it, and he's played about... Oh, I guess, yeah, maybe, because I think each part's about 8 hours. I've seen 16 hours, so
yeah.
I think the last one's another 8, so it'll be about 24, maybe 30 hours altogether.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, yeah.
I've heard 45 to 60 hours for the DLC.
That's probably like...
Like doing
I'll just
everything.
say on the high end. Yeah, that's probably like really searching. This guy's pretty
that's
good.
What I do.
Lil Aggie is who I'm watching. He's a speedrunner, but he does a lot of like... He does a lot of Dark Souls challenges with other people.
Yeah.
He's probably beaten Dark Souls 400 million different ways.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, so...
Hell yeah.
But he's pretty entertaining. He's not like... he's not over the top. He's just like a really good gamer that also has like...
Right.
good opinions while he's playing and stuff. But,
yeah, I'm no way... I'm good at these games. I'm no fucking master at them either.
He's casual. Like, sometimes he, like, fights a boss, and he'll get it on, like, the second or third time. Like, casually sometimes. He'll be, like, rolling. And I'm just, like... I'll be, like, panic rolling, and he's just, like... like, just hanging out. And I'm like, dude, this guy...
Yeah,
even on the DLC, like, bosses you've never even met before.
Right.
It's like, no big deal.
I would say the lion fight. So I've done... the first 3 big story bosses, and then once it's like you have that beginning area, right, of the DLC, and then once you get past that beginning area, you have like your first dungeon right here to the left, of that beginning area, and then your second dungeon is kind of like blocking, like it's a giant castle.
Yeah.
That
like the
second dungeon is 4 dungeons stacked up on top of each other.
I was gonna say that's like a mega dungeon basically.
Right.
Like, it's just like
there's several different entrances to that place, and each one is a different dungeon.
Yeah.
That just doesn't connect to. They're like literally stacked up on top of each other.
Oh, word.
Yeah, or it's like all the same castle, but then you have like one part that's like completely underneath water, and you have to drain it all, and that's like its whole other dungeon, and that's how actually once you drain that, that's how you got to that flower thing that we were watching earlier.
Oh, really?
There's also the bottom part of the castle, which leads you to the back. There's the specimen room, which is like 19 stories tall, and it's like a giant platforming puzzle to get all the way up, and then to get all the way down to talk to the NPCs, and then get all the way back up.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy.
That's crazy.
And then each one of those like go off into its own biome.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother area of like shit where like I've played 18 hours, 19 hours, and there's still a piece of the map that I haven't uncovered
I was gonna
yet.
say this guy still hasn't got all of his map yet either.
Yeah, there's like the right side, the middle of the right side of my map is just like completely fogged out. I have like the bottom corner and the top corner like completely uncovered, and it's all pretty and stuff. But I haven't been to this area yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of like depth and layers to it.
Yeah,
A lot of like.
There's a whole underground section that you go into this hole under the ground, and it's like covered by a magic door.
Yeah.
And then this like weird seal breaks, and then all of a sudden you're allowed to go in the hole, and then I didn't know I was allowed to go in the hole, but I was like, well, let's go back to that hole, and it was like, this is open, and then it's like fucking so deep.
Yeah.
So deep. Like the Eternal City feeling of like being on top of all those jagged buildings and stuff, like it's like 4 times the size of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so cool.
That's a lot.
God, dude. It's fucking boats. It's like fucking boats coming out of the side of the mountain and shit, and like fucking all jagged out. But it's in the middle of this hole.
Right.
There's no water around you. I mean, technically, I guess there is above you, but around you, there's not. And it's just like sides of the mountain with boats hanging out, and you're like platforming boat to boat. Weird. It's so cool. There's a lot of stuff of like questions that I had about of lore specifically. I mean, when this game had came out and we had started the podcast, I had talked about like blood builds and stuff like that. Even though people play with blood builds, like the amount of blood lore that is in this is very small.
Yeah.
Like there's only like 3 or 4 blood weapons and like 2 blood arts in the whole game.
Right.
And then you have Moog, who is the gatekeeper of this DLC, being the Lord of Blood. Is not necessarily blood magic, but there's a lot of blood talk here. And I mean, I think I know where the blood area might be, where I start getting some stuff. Or start finding out some stuff. But, yeah, there's all of that. And then sleep. Sleep is a huge part of the game that never gets talked about. Where, like, the gods are super weak to sleep when you fight, like, the godskins and stuff like that.
Right.
They're insanely weak to sleep. There's a whole sleep, like, quest line. And it is weird, man.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
It's so weird. Like, you gotta put yourself to sleep over and over again, and you think you're dead, and then it's crazy stuff. Yeah, I feel like a kid in the candy store every time I walk down, like, a weird aisle or something. And, like, every time you do, it opens up like a sight line to something that you've never seen before.
Right.
Like, you go to the one side of a cliff and you see 4 other things that you've never seen, and you're like, how do I get to that?
Mhm.
I can't even fathom on, like, how I'm supposed to traverse to there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is pretty much a whole new game. It's pretty incredible
Oh yeah,
what they were able to do.
I'm surprised that this isn't Elden Ring 2. Like, this very well could have been.
Yeah.
It's just as big. And when Miyazaki was talking about this, he was like, it's the size of Limgrave. It's 20 hours long, is what he said.
Wow.
What, dude? What? What are you talking about?
That's crazy.
When Elden Ring came out, he did say it was a 40-hour game. But what the fuck, dude?
That's true, yeah.
What are you talking about? I mean, I'm all for, like, underselling and over-delivering, but, like, people are reviewing this shit, and people, like, that, I don't feel, I thank God I don't have to review it, but if, like, a review embargo, you get this game, I think the original release of the game was, like, a week before the game came out, and then Miyazaki's out here being like, it's a 40-hour game. It's like, no, me alone, I mean, like, my character's 180 hours or something like that, and this is a new character.
Right.
I had to redo the whole game recently.
That's crazy, yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man.
And that's, like, even before, I mean, like, you still got to get kind of buff just to play the DLC.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even, like, walk in with minimum hours.
Right.
Like, you have to put a little time into this game because, like, everything is so much stronger. There's even, like, things that you fight that aren't even bosses that you would think would have a boss bar. And it's just like, no, I'm just a regular guy you're going to face 20 times.
Right. Yeah, there's... The misconception is that I only need to beat Radon and I only need to beat Moog to get to the game, and that's all people are saying. And it's like, Moog is 85% of the way through the game.
Right.
Like, Moog is a side boss.
I was gonna say,
and, like,
and you have to do stuff.
way out of the way.
Right, you have to do stuff just to get to him. It's
Right.
not like you're gonna just walk up on him casually.
He's a secret inside the secret area.
Yeah.
Like, that's how far out of the way he is. We're like, to get the... You get a secret half of the medallion that lets you know, hey, I need to go fight Commander Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And Commander Neil holds the other half of the medallion, and then once you do that, you gotta go to the elevator that brought you to the mountains and show it the secret medallion. So instead of the elevator going up, it goes down to the bottom, and then you have to go through this whole blizzard area that you can't see shit at to find a teleport, and then you teleport, and then you're in the Moog's place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And all that's just by chance.
Right, and that's after you beat the, like, I mean, I guess you don't have to do the Ashen Capital stuff, like, or Farum Azula to get there, but you would technically be after Farum Azula, because you have to beat, like, the Royal Knights and shit to, like, get to that elevator.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some sort of speedrunning way to do it, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because, like, you can skip Godric. Like, you could skip, you can skip Renala. I mean, pretty much, though. I mean, you really need, like... Well, I guess, no. You do need to defeat Godric at some point, because you need all 5 shards in order to get to that. But you could skirt past Godric at the beginning and then level way the fuck up.
That's what I'm excited for, is the speed running to get to the DLC and then through the DLC, because like I said, you have to really be leveled up.
Yeah, it was at Games Done Quick this week. I don't remember what the run was. I thought it was like 28 minutes or something like that. It's a very small run, but that's like... I mean, that's shorter than most of the other runs for their games.
Yeah.
But because it's so open, you can kind of, like, again, fuck with it.
Yeah.
Or, like, Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff, you have to... there's no side-skirting a boss. There are optional bosses, but, like, if there's a barrier, there's a barrier, and you're not... You can't get past it until you beat it.
Yeah, because there's walls and shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing Elden Ring has, is, like, it's so open, you can kind of, like, jump barriers and...
Yeah.
Skirt around
just
whole areas.
Skip bosses until you want to come back. Yeah, versus, like, the Shadows of Yharnam in Bloodborne, where you have to fight 3 hooded snake dudes, and they're all, like, fucking... One's breathing fire, one has double katanas, and the other one's, like, shooting a snake head at you.
Yeah.
And you're just getting ganked all over the place, and fucking... Yeah, you can't do anything until you beat them.
Right.
Your only option is, in those games, is to level up. Sekiro, you can't do that. That is one thing with Elden Ring where, like, it being so open, I wish it had more of the other playstyles of their games, and it doesn't. It has the very Soulsy style of gameplay with all of the weapons, but it doesn't, like... I mean, there's a cannon in the DLC. It's a very small... not a small cannon. It's a very large cannon, but it's, like... It's a magic cannon, and it's, like, a huge window. It does a decent amount of damage, but it's not like the blunderbuss, where it's a small amount of, like, thing, but it's also, like, a parry item. Like, there's none of that.
Yeah, you're not gonna... Yeah, because you have to hold it like this or whatever.
Right. They added the monk stance from Sekiro into the DLC, where you have, like, the fists hand-to-hand and the spin kicks and stuff like that. But the parries, like, Sekiro's parries are like no other.
Right.
And I'm wielding double katanas in Elden Ring, like, it's the same sword as, you know, like, the Uchi katana has been in every single one of the games, and they call it something different in Sekiro, but... And that's the best controlling katana they've ever done. So, like, why would they not carry that over?
Yeah.
And I guess with the parry mechanic, you would have to retool the whole game.
I was going to say, that would be a lot of,
They already account for that with every other one of the builds. So, like, I don't know, why not make it an Ash of War or something like that?
That would be cool if it was like an Ash of War.
Yeah. I mean, the parry ability is already an Ash of War, where, like, if you have a shield with parry on it, you can parry, but as soon as you take the parry off and put something else on it, then you can't parry anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in a way it's good, because you want the games to have their own unique things.
For sure.
You know, if it's too much like Sekiro isn't Sekiro anymore.
Right.
It's just another Dark Souls
Another
game.
one of those things,
so,
yeah.
In a way, you do want to have some uniqueness to it. Like, even them... including these new weapons and fight styles that are similar to the other games is kind of, I guess not necessarily risque, but it is a little like, you know, you're trying to blend it all in or whatever. But it still is cool that they were able to do, like, the different melee builds, the new backhanded blades and other weapons that are just like...
Yeah, I haven't... The one-handed greatswords I haven't tried yet, but those seem really cool, because, I mean, it's a great sword, but it's the size of a katana, or it's, like, the same kind of build as a katana would be, but it's a great sword. And then, you have Malenia's stance, the side, like, arm stance kind of thing, where it's, like, laid out, and if you dual blade, you do, like, the double, like, Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
The second boss of the DLC, is... I don't know if it's supposed to... I don't know the lore behind it, but it kind of seems like her and Malenia are related.
Oh, the blue
yeah,
lady?
Renala is her name.
Yeah.
Or Rolana? It might be Rolana. Renala is the mom of Ronnie. Rolana is the Moon Knight.
Yeah, you think, George R.R. Martin, great writer... Maybe think of a few different names.
Well, you got...
They all sound way so similar.
There's a reason. I didn't know about it until the Phoenix Down moment happened. every single one of the characters' names are his initials.
Yeah, but that's you can still think of another R name, but that doesn't sound like the same R name.
But they
Yeah.
dude, there's so many R names.
Ranala and Ramala and Radala and
Well, there's
Remodel.
Renala, Rolana, Radon, Rajir.
I know, but you can't think of
the only one that I'm thinking
Rain,
Ronnie.
Ronnie, Rumpelstiltskin, you know, Runt.
It was Godric. Fuck. What was the other G ones? There's Godric.
And also, get off your freaking high horse, George R. R. Martin. Just think of some new names,
Right.
all right? At this point, especially for DLC characters, you had to go that far. You couldn't just be like, all right,
right.
I've had enough R names.
The M's as well. Like Mesmere is the.
Oh, for Martin, yeah.
Yeah, you have Mesmere and Mikola are the two
So
big
It's.
names of the DLC.
I mean, it's cool that you're able to do that, but like. Couldn't have sat down and swapped a couple more consonants and vowels so they all sound the same.
Right. A lot of it's like the gods.
Yeah.
Specifically versus like, I mean, there's still like Fia and D, and like there are characters that don't have that particular motif, but all of like the god circle,
all the main,
is like
the big bit.
Right. Anybody with Empyrean blood is what it seems like.
Yeah. It's like a part of him.
Which, so like Empyreans are mentioned throughout the whole game and I guess I never caught it until like somebody started explaining it to me. But like Empyreans are like the people before all the gods went to shit. They're like the high and mighty like people and stuff like that. And Ronnie, Mikola, and Melania are all from that place. Melania is your fucking firekeeper lady. Ronnie being the witch that you marry, and then Mikola, the guy you're chasing through the whole DLC. The mother of Mikola is also the mother of Rolana. The mother of both of them is Marika. Marika is the statue that you see.
Right.
Is the stake statue.
Yeah.
The whole Golden Order style stuff. Through the whole DLC, she's headless. Every single one of the statues do not have a head. Also, the tree is like wilted and like it's the shadow tree in this world. There's like a veil across the whole sky.
Tree.
Yeah, which is people have just like I never knew Old English, so like when when they started using gal as jail, it was like I'm gonna say gal until somebody was like until somebody said so. Same thing with Skidoo.
It'll forever be Skidoo.
Right.
You're not gonna tell me otherwise.
Yeah, apparently it's Shadow, but
it's like old
Skidoo
Gaelic or something.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is. It's Gaelic, and
it's all Irish and Scottish folklore or whatever. So Irish. Yeah, that's like the Gaelic. Yeah.
There's a lot more Irish folklore here. It's very dragon heavy, especially in like the part of the map that I'm in.
Yeah,
it's like a huge dragon part. I fought Bale the dragon is the big name for that. I fought him. I didn't beat him. I did a 3.5 hour long episode yesterday where I banged my head against him. And I did not beat him at the end of it. I got up because I was like, I need to eat and my ass hurts. I feel like I'm going to get a blood clot in my leg if I keep sitting here. That's something I've been very conscious about recently. I don't know why, but I've been hearing more and more of that recently, of like people sitting for so long that they're getting blood clots and stuff like that, and that scares the fucking shit out of me.
I mean, fingers crossed.
Right. Especially, I like work all day and stuff like that. So like I'm a very active person until I get home.
Right.
Then once I get home, I sit in this chair for God knows how long.
I sit a lot between like drawing, typing, and playing video games. That's all I do is sit.
Right.
That's what I was telling someone the other day. Like I went out just to
Just to walk.
Just to walk, and I got lunch like out somewhere. Like
Right.
I sat down and ate.
Yeah, I do that all the
somewhere
time.
else, just to like leave the house, just to like clear my mind.
Yeah, I go to the store. I go to Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Just walk around Walmart.
Right.
I do that. Yeah, I'll do that too. Just I don't even need anything. I'll just like look at stuff.
Right, I'll go there and get a single Monster. I'll smoke a bowl in the
Mhm.
parking lot and
Yeah.
then go walk around. Maybe get a pack of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
But it's like I just need to like breathe for a minute outside of my muggy room.
For sure, yeah. Especially now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like tonight I have tonight off, so like by fucking 7 p.m. I'm sure I'm gonna be like, I need to do something that's not just sit here. I mean, I haven't gone to bed yet, so maybe I'll be asleep by then. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
But my sleep schedule, man, has been so strange. Since I started this new job, I thought I was like on a normal like 6 hours of sleep thing, but like this last like couple of weeks since we've been off the podcast, I've been like 2 hours of sleep here or an hour of sleep there, and it's like it's fucked up my whole
reversed
sleep.
your schedule again. You're
Yeah.
doing nights again, so it's a whole new readjustment.
Right. And now it's been, I think, 2 months now since I started the new job. It's like May, the end of May or something like that is when I
Yeah.
started. So almost 2 months. Yeah, switching my sleep schedule around like that has been so hard, and then it being so hot, so when I do actually sleep, it's hot as hell in this room,
Yeah.
so I'm not sleeping well. Honestly, the best sleep I do get is probably the hour nap that I take like right before work. Right before I leave for work, I'll like lay down for an hour, and it's finally like 74 instead of 80 something. It's like I want to lay down and then wake up and be like, oh, I wish I could call out, but I can't. And that's also kind of like eating away at my Elden Ring time. I think I would have beaten it a lot sooner if I was on a typical schedule right now, but I've been very bad at keeping myself on one.
Right.
And I've been like kind of letting myself take a nap whenever rather than like I'm gonna push through it. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling tired, let's do it.
Yeah, I've been doing that recently. It's mostly the heat.
There's no point.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? Go stand in the cold shower? I don't want to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get out of the cold shower, and that would be even more humid when it starts drying off.
Yeah, can't really win.
No. I've thought about going to the beach or something, but it's so far away from here. Game Pass is going up in price by $3 across the board.
Oh.
It is
That
now
sucks.
$17.99. It will be going up to $20.99. That's for current members. It will be for current members who are currently subscribed and stay subscribed. They will be grandfathered into their price. So if you have it right now for $17.99 and you keep it up until the price change, it will stay $17.99 until you get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with the other perks and tiers and stuff. Along with that, they are getting rid of the Xbox Game Pass, the bottom tier. I think that bottom tier was just like it was basically Game Pass just for console without the online or anything. It was like just the games itself. They're getting rid of that completely. And they're merging it with the online thing.
Right.
And the bottom tier will also not have the whole appeal of Game Pass is day one games.
Right.
And stuff like it is a Netflix for games, but day one games was the drive. Is now being said that the bottom tier of Game Pass will not have day one Xbox games.
Wow.
It will be like a curated list of games, kind of like I think PlayStation has the same thing, but I think this will be like everything besides new games.
Yeah.
How arbitrary they want to get with that, like games only in 2025 or 2024, or
Yeah.
like is there like a year or two barrier? They'll never say, but that seems to be the thing. It seems $3 across the board, getting rid of the lowest tier and kind of merging it with the other one. It will be $15.99 for that tier, $15.99 for I think $12.99 for PC Game Pass, which is $10 right now if you want just PC Game Pass. And then Game Pass Ultimate will go from 18 to 21. And then other countries and stuff like that, it's like $10 of a difference. Like, apparently the UK got hit hard with it. Which, I mean, the pound is worth more, but it's still worth a lot less than what it used to be.
Yeah.
And there was another territory as well. I don't think it was Japan, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Japan, because the yen is super down. Like, it used to be almost a 1-for-1 conversion rate of like 100 yen is $1, and now it's like 180 yen is $1.
Wow.
Like, it's a big jump. I don't know if it's that big of a jump, but it's a big jump from what it used to be. Yeah, the yen's pretty gnarly right now. It's crazy. I'm not an economist of any sort. I wish I understood that more, but
yeah, none of that makes sense to me.
Right.
Like, how do you guys all have different money?
Right.
And
it's worth different.
How is this the same but different? Yeah.
Right, like a Canadian penny.
Right. It's like, this was made
with the same material. It might even be minted at the same place if you go north enough.
I don't understand.
Speaking of Japanese doing weird things, Nintendo, for the first time in a long time, has announced a horror game.
Nice.
What that horror game is called Emio.
Okay.
Watching this, you will know as much as I do. And you hearing this, me saying Emio, you now know as much as I do. So, what we see here in this teaser trailer is a man in a trench coat.
Yeah.
With a paper bag, smiling.
That's what my GTA character looks like.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's just a paper bag guy.
Dude, that's just so weird, because this dropped at like 3 o'clock in the morning, randomly.
It's really weird to see that kind of creepiness and then the Nintendo logo following.
Right. This got tweeted out by Nintendo at 3 o'clock in the morning our time, which I don't know what that is in Japan. And then they don't say any English in the trailer. We now know that Emio, or the is kanji. I think it's kanji. Kanji that you see would be it's a smiling man.
Yeah,
it's the name of the Japanese version of this game. Apparently, what people have dug up is that this might be a subsidiary of Bloober Team. Does Bloober Team ring a bell?
Man, it sounds really familiar, but I can't.
Or tie it all around to things that I don't like. Which is so... I don't want to be negative, because I really want to like this. Whatever this is really cool and weird, and I really want it. Bloober Team is the Layers of Fear people. The Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah.
In the medium. This is apparently like... They're spinning off like its own small team outside of that. And doing weird things, which is cool. I'm all for experimental shit, but that's kind of like what Bloober Team was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Is weird and experimental indie. And also, I really feel like the only reason why they would have a subsidiary is because the name Bloober Team is so disgraced by this point that they don't want to be tied to it. It's very
Yeah,
strange.
Doesn't really give you much to go off of.
No, a lot of people are trying to connect Kojima to it, but there's no way. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, he's working on like 4 games as what we know right now. He has Death Stranding 2, OD,
Yeah.
Fizzant got announced not too long ago, and then he's working on a movie, the Death
Isn't he
Stranding
still
movie.
working on that Jordan Peele video game?
That's OD, yeah.
Oh, OD. Okay.
Yeah, that's the horror game that he is working on.
Right.
Which who knows what that is? That's supposed to be like, I don't know.
We still haven't seen more on that.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like 2026
Oh,
is
really?
what they're saying.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then Fizzant that got announced at that PlayStation thing with all of the. What a weird fucking showcase where they announced all the live service stuff and then had Kojima come out at the end of it. They're saying like 2028 for that game, man. So like we got Death Stranding 2 next year.
Yeah.
And then OD the year after that, and then 2 years after that, we have Kojima's game that he's working on now.
Maybe, yeah. Right, maybe.
Oh.
Well, who knows? I mean...
Yeah, as of right now, this is a Switch exclusive as well. It seems like Nintendo is publishing this. This isn't like... this isn't a third-party thing, which is also why they don't mention anybody.
Yeah.
Because that's what Nintendo does when they're publishing something. They don't talk about who's making the game.
I can't imagine how... So this is a 15-second trailer, and the one next to it's 11... Like, someone made 11-minute breakdown.
Yeah, Nintendo
on
Live.
a 15-second trailer.
I mean, it's probably a lot of just, like, what is this speculation
Right.
thing? I mean, it's probably a lot of the stuff that I just said to you.
But it's crazy
well.
that someone made 11 minutes out of a 15-second trailer. Well, you see here, he had a different smile
He had a
10 seconds later.
It is very strange. So, like, when they did, when they originally released the trailer, we didn't...
Like, there's nothing disturbing.
Right. Well, when that video released, it didn't have any of this, and it wasn't until later. So that's like, that is another wrinkle to this, where like they launched this trailer at 3:00 in the morning, and it was just this random smiling dude. It had no Peggy rating, it had no nothing, and then like 4 or 5 hours later, when the rest of the world wakes up, they upload a different version of the trailer that has this in front of it, and they age gate all of the other ones.
That's weird.
Why? I mean, we know, obviously we know it's going to be a hard rated M game, but it's very weird for Nintendo to even do that in the first place, let alone
Maybe
a
it was
horror
an accident.
game.
Maybe they just leaked it a little too early.
I don't think any of this was an accident.
You think?
I mean, maybe, 100%.
Maybe just the first upload, like they just like, oh, we forgot to, you know.
Yeah. Oh, is he? I think he's just talking over what was happening. I want to know what's in those frames. There's a lot of frames that happen right there.
Yeah, maybe that's what he does. He breaks down. Somehow he like pauses frame by frame. There could be a couple more hints in there.
Yeah, right
the
there.
The background looks animated. It doesn't even look like a real background.
Right. Well, I mean, like, even when I, like, that's hidden in one of the frames that we just saw right there, and I didn't even...
Yeah.
I don't even... What the fuck?
I'll have to go home and watch this later.
He has teeth now in that.
Yeah, there was a flashover where he has teeth. There's a couple different frames, it looks like, where, like...
It's like drawing pictures and stuff. That's
stuff
funny
is
as hell.
broken down. It's
It's
like playing Smash
Smash in front of it.
In front of the map.
That's funny. The video we were watching is the Nintendo Life breakdown of the trailer. I know you guys can't see, but yeah, go watch this Emio trailer. You'll see what we're talking about. Like I said, it's 15 seconds long. So while you're watching this on your phone, like, you know, pull it up real quick. It is the most un-Nintendo thing they've done in quite a while. And it's such a small flash in the pan compared to what they. We also just had a direct, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like last week or last episode, that was 3 weeks ago now. That's crazy. Last episode we spent 3 hours talking about what they had just announced,
Right.
and this is not part of that.
And then they're like, gotcha.
They showed rated M games in that showcase. They showed off Turok and Perfect Dark and stuff. Like,
You know, I mean, I feel like we've just gotten to a time where you have to find new and creative ways to. You can't just. It's kind of old hat to release everything when expected.
right,
So, you know, occasionally you have to kind of do a weird thing.
right. This is
Publicity stunt type thing. you know?
right, 100%. I think Nintendo announcing any horror is weird.
Yeah.
The way they went about this is like,
Probably the best way to do it, really.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, 100%. Like, you right.
and like spooky. I mean, it's always been like movies and stuff. They always try to like take it to the real world and to bring it. But
Yeah.
especially recently in the
Making
last
an
like
ARG.
decade and stuff, maybe even the last 5 years, it's become even bigger. Like with the Smile Team
Right.
and like stuff like that. Like there's been a lot of horror movies and stuff that have been doing a lot of weird ways to advertise. So,
Right.
if anything, this is just a creepier way to get your attention. Now you're not going to forget it. Whereas if this was in the direct or whatever, it might have just been like, they're doing a game, but it might have just.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's neat. We'll see if it actually leads up to something. But
Right, and like I said, the Bluebird team ties aren't confirmed yet.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo probably won't confirm who's working on this game until the game is out.
Mhm.
Which is, I mean, that's what they've been doing with all of their games. Is like wait until the credits
Right.
to see who's worked on it. Like we didn't know who the voice of Mario was until the game came out. It not having any ties to anybody else besides Nintendo is very strange. This is not a very Nintendo specific thing. And they've published horror before, but
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion.
yeah, but Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. There's been, I mean, what, 2 Fatal Frames were exclusive to the Wii, and then eventually got ported to other things, but they were like timed exclusives to the Wii. I mean, for mature titles as well, like you have like Bayonetta and stuff like that. Like they do mature things, but
Yeah.
it's very rare, and it's even more rare for horror. So for something to come out with a PEGI 18 specifically, not a 16,
Yeah.
an 18, and then yeah,
I mean, I'm excited.
right,
See
I
what
am
kind
too.
of like weird Nintendo horror they can think of.
Yeah, who is Emio?
Right.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, maybe it's the trench coat and stuff, but I'm getting like an Ace Attorney maybe style vibe. Or what the fuck was that DS game? Hotel Dusk? Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Hotel Dusk was like a DS puzzle detective game that it wasn't horror themed back then.
Yeah.
But I totally could see where it could be, because it was like murder mystery, serial killer stuff. You could do
Could
something
be along
like
that
that.
line. I mean, the trench coat does give off that kind of like
Detective.
mystery detective type vibe.
Right.
But like with the mask, it's like, oh, is he the villain? Or
Yeah. Yeah, it flashing
So
like
it
skull
kinda gives
teeth and
you-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got through all of my stories here. That's
Nice.
everything I have. Yeah, that's it. Is there anything else? What have you been playing?
I beat like a dragon.
Oh hell yeah! Yes. How was that? How was the
It was
ending?
very sad,
Yeah.
very tragic.
Right.
I cried a little bit. Not gonna lie.
For sure.
Because you think like you finally make it to the end after all this stuff, that's happened to Ichi. You're like, all right, finally some resolution, and then just more tragedy. It's
Yeah.
like this guy cannot get a break for nothing.
Right.
For nothing, and it's not in the lore all the fun that we had, all these mini games, all the love, because you can date like
Right.
all the women and stuff and stuff. None of that's in the lore. So like none of these good times that I'm giving him, he's having.
Right.
He's just having all this sadness, and I'm just like, I would just felt so sad about it. It sucks. And like the twists are great. I think there's a lot of really good, crazy twists. Some of them, there's a couple. What's it called? Deus Machina
Deus
type.
Machina.
Yeah, twists where it's like, all right, well, you're just kind of pulling that one out of your butt to
Oh
make
yeah.
this make sense. But
For
I mean,
sure.
overall, it was like very, very fun. There was really only like maybe one time where there was a true wall. Like even the last boss wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be, and maybe just I like got souped up enough for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was my concern of like I've heard that final boss is like really hard.
No, I honestly, the boss that I had the most trouble with were the two. There were like two bodyguards, and one of them, like their second phase is turning into like 7 people at once.
Weird.
And then if you do that, there's a time where you can do that, and then simultaneously the other guy will join, and then if that happens, you're like fucked. There's like a way you do it to where like you can take them down
Take
one
them-
at a time,
yeah.
for the most part.
Huh.
That took the longest because they were both like tanky on top of them just
Uh-oh.
having all this weird shit.
Right.
But honestly, after that, there was very few fights that I had any issue on.
Huh.
I think I had a really good team. I think I found like probably one of the best builds for a team, and then just as long as you have a healer,
Right.
and then either bleed and fire are probably like the two. Poison helps too. There's just there's ways to really make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you're already good at those type of games, I think. But there's so much like I'm already excited to replay it with like my new souped up, because you can carry all your stuff
Right.
that you find. You can put in a little chest and then pull it out in New Game Plus. So I'm really excited to try new builds and level up
Hell yeah.
from the beginning with new stuff to see if, because I can imagine, I can guarantee they're going to introduce something new in New Game Plus.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
even if whether it's a meta joke because he thinks he's in a game and now you're playing the game again or something, or like maybe some new side stuff, something weird, because that game is already so weird and unexpected.
Right.
I'd have no, but yeah, so I beat that. Very fun.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Can't wait to play the next one.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You do get to meet the
Kiryu.
guy with no name.
Kiryu.
He's like a big part of the back half of the
Yeah.
game, actually.
Yeah.
So you kind of meet their connection, and it's like, all right, now I want to play that game too to figure out what his story is.
Right. So yeah, that is my question of like, do you think the man who erased his name is the next one you'll play, or are you gonna go straight to Infinite Wealth?
I think I'd like to play the man
Who erased his
who
name?
erased his name.
It's a
Just
shitty title.
just because, yeah, I thought it was the man with no name, but I think that's a James Bond.
Yeah, that's a James Bond thing. Like a Draken Gaiden is the name of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the
man
one
who
I think
erased
I'd
his
like to
name.
play first, just so I can kind of see their stories merge
Yeah.
in the follow-up game.
Right.
But at the same time, I really like it. Ichiban is like such a fun character. He's
Yeah.
a really cool guy, like just a wholesome. Like he's just a bimbo.
Yeah.
Just a himbo.
I mean,
and
since
that's fun.
you're so attached to Ichiban, like, I think you could probably skip Like a Dragon
Yeah.
or Gaiden.
Yeah.
Because it is so Kiryu focused.
Right.
It's really the end of Kiryu's story. I mean, he is in the 8th game, but I know the ending of Like a Dragon Gaiden, and that's a fucking doozy of an ending.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been a fan of the series for so long, where,
Mhm.
like, that would be worth playing through 0, at least, if not the whole series up till that point.
Yeah.
The good news is that probably 1 through 5 is the length of 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good, at least.
But 0 and 6 are both very long as well.
Really?
I
would like to play them. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that
People say go start with 0.
if the storyline is anything like a dragon, I'm already
Oh yeah.
hooked. Even if the game style isn't necessarily. 'Cause
Yeah.
Honestly, that it was really like it's very compelling, but like they keep it silly, but also just like tragic at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the first one is probably the most self-serious out of the series, but they've always had that comedy
Yeah.
to it, where like weird mini games and stuff
Mhm.
like that. The whole series is based out of Shenmue. If
Okay.
you've ever played those games,
Mm-mm.
Shenmue is like the most story game like ever at that point.
Oh, really?
I have the second one. I mean, they remastered both the first one and the second one for modern consoles. I wouldn't suggest going back to those,
No.
but those kind of like put you in the mindset of like how those old games would play. They did remake 1 and 2 though of Yakuza.
Okay.
The Kiwami games is what they're called. Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Yakuza Kiwami 2
Okay.
are remakes of the first two. And then they did like a full remaster collection of 3, 4, and 5 because I think 3 and 4 never came to the States.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if 5 did either. But yeah, then we got 6. 6 came out. That is what was thought to be the end of Kiryu's story for a bit. 0 came out shortly after that. 0 is a prequel to everything. It takes place in the 80s.
Right, yeah.
Versus, like, the majority of Yakuza 1 through 6, I guess, is all the 90s up until the mid-2000s.
Oh, word.
And then, yeah, modern day is Ichiban stuff. They're pretty close to when the time of those games came out.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to when.
They kind of used
modern.
Ichiban's story to catch up because they put him in jail, and now
Right.
suddenly it's modern
It's
times.
modern day.
Yeah, that was
they
a good.
skipped the 20-year
Yeah,
gap.
that was kind of a good way to do that, I think.
Yeah, because like in 8 they reference 2024 like throughout the whole game.
Really?
Yeah, it's like so much of it was like, would they change the year and when it's 2025, would it be worth to make it 2025?
Right.
Because they say 2024 a lot at the beginning of that game.
Interesting.
Where it's like you guys dated this hard. But hey, we'll see. I mean, they have confirmed that they are working on something. They have not confirmed if it's a Yakuza game. They have said it's not going to be a mainline game. They also have the Judgment series, so that could be one of those. Judgment's like, I mean, it has more comedic moments, but it's definitely more serious, and you play as a detective in that universe.
Oh, okay.
Rather than a street thug, you're playing
Right.
as
You're playing the lawman.
right. You're playing as a cop, and you're solving mysteries. Like one of them was, I mean, the main mystery is a murder mystery. The guy that you thought was that. I think it starts out. You're a lawyer. You are defending a serial killer, and you win the case. He gets off, and then he kills again. And then you, as a lawyer, get disgraced and become a private eye detective. The serial killer's still off on the loose, and you're kind of like following that storyline of like what happened to this. I think it's like a female, like connecting the whole thing
Right.
of who died, what happened to this lady, kind of thing, who killed her, and then there's like mysteries of like, let's figure out what the rival team of the high school, what is the robot league doing, because the robot league of our high school needs help.
Right, yeah,
Stuff
there's
like
a lot
that.
of silly side mission
Yeah.
stuff on top of the,
Yeah.
I can see that. That sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, people like that one. That one was weird. Like how Like a Dragon Gaiden is. It came out in the middle of now these games being turn-based. Judgment and Gaiden are both back to the original form where they're beat 'em ups.
Oh, word.
And those games are hard. Like the turn-based hardness of those games is just as hard when you get to the beat 'em ups. So
Oh,
the
really?
bosses are no joke in that game, or in any of those games. They're definitely worth picking up. I think all of the Yakuza series is on Game Pass.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, I've already put them all on my save for later or whatever.
I don't think Judgment came to Game Pass. I don't think it came to Xbox. I think that's all on PlayStation. I think it's Judgment is the first one. I forgot what the second... Maybe it's just called Judgment 2 is the second one. In Japan, it's called Judge Eyes. It's like, okay, man. Sure.
Nice. I like that better.
Yeah, right? The cover of the game is like just like a super zoomed in face shot of him, too.
Just 2 Asian eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah, with Judgment written on his forehead.
Is he judging you?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, man. I really, all I've been playing is Elden Ring. So that's all I got.
Oh, I've been playing Multiverses.
Oh.
That's what my new thing I've gotten into.
Yeah.
That's my new Rocket League, I think.
I'm surprised that... I mean, like, I'm not surprised that you can't find a match, but, like, I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about how well that game is doing, or if it's doing well at all.
It's gotten pretty good. The new Multiverses, I mean, they revamped all the characters, it seems. Everything looks cleaner, especially after the most recent update, because they had, like, a problem with Jason or something.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
They redid a lot of the icons and stuff, a lot of the art. I haven't been playing... I've been playing, like, the story mode stuff, so I haven't beat that yet. But I've been, like, playing through that to unlock, stuff. So I have... So it's, like... And so I know what I'm doing before I play people online.
Right.
But it's fun. It's fun. I like the cutscenes are really cool. There's a lot of quirky little, animated cutscenes of all these different characters doing stuff together, which I think is weird and neat. Watching Batman talk to,
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, specific
LeBron
dialogue.
James. It's
right.
very, there's a lot of, even amongst, like, other Universal characters. Like, it'll be like LeBron and the girl from Game of Thrones, and they have specific conversation, which I really love. I love all the voice actors and stuff that are, like, in it. I really think they
well done.
They brought it back and made a well-rounded Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, and
the ones who didn't do it are freaking... because I was playing this too to compare it. The Nickelodeon Brawl.
Oh, really?
People, they put that out on
the first one or the second one.
Two.
Really?
They
Because
put
I heard
that out on GameSpot.
I heard the
Game
opposite,
Pass.
dude. That's crazy. Because like I heard, I mean, if you look at the reviews for that game, it's like 8 and 9s out of 10s. Like people are revering that as like the closest that any of these games has felt to Melee ever.
I mean, I guess I feel like they're both very much the same. I mean, Melee never had like...
Yeah, tell me, because I'm versed in these games, but I'm not.
I didn't play Melee enough.
Them.
I don't think I played Melee enough to have a true full comparison. But I think I just like the progression of the multiverses versus like the progression of the Nickelodeon one, it's a little more janky, and they also included like instead of maybe you could do this in Smash Bros. But were there always 3 attack buttons in Smash Bros. Or was it just 2? I don't remember. But now you can
I think
do.
It's 3.
So like in Versus, you have 2. You have your 2 attack buttons. You have your dodge, and you have jump.
Yes. Yeah, I think.
So you have dodge, jump, attack, attack. But then in the Nickelodeon one, you have 3 attacks and a jump. You don't have a dodge. You have a parry, I think, instead, which is another button. So they tried to like make it a little more advanced, I think.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the character too, because I think like.
Yeah, there are some characters that do different things depending on who they are. I do need to play the Nickelodeon one a little bit more, but I don't know. I feel like the progression, because even like some of the levels and stuff, you just end up like, I mean, I guess you do that in Melee, but you just end up fighting like a lot of minions of one thing or something, and
right. I think the Smash Bros. Like the story mode in that game is insanely weak.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that would be on par to that.
I like, I think the story in Multiverses is a lot stronger.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, when they do, like, their challenges, like, they had the whole summer thing, or they had the Jason challenge, so they made a Jason cutscene of them running from the guy and stuff. Whereas, like, the Nickelodeon one, I don't know. It just didn't feel as smooth to me. I just wasn't.
I believe you.
I just wasn't feeling it. So
yeah,
I am gonna keep kind of bouncing back and forth because I have them both now.
Right. That is a. I think Game Mill is the one who makes those Nicktoon games. Game Mill does a lot of really bad licensing stuff, but these Nicktoons games that they've started doing, I mean, they've been bad the first 2, and then this one was like the highest rated one, but like the first one of these didn't have voice acting in it. I think it only had 2 DLC characters ever.
Oh wow.
And then they made the racing game after that. I think they've done a sequel to the racing game since then too.
Yeah.
But also the same thing. Couldn't get any voice acting for it or anything like that.
This one sounds like it's all voice acted.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. They put the love and care into it. I think the majority of the cast is the original cast members. There's some specific ones that aren't them, like Tim Curry isn't Nigel, of course, because he's dead. But like Jimmy Neutron's dad, or like fucking Shane from Jimmy Neutron, or Velma is her voice actor. Batman was Kevin Costner before he died, or not Kevin Costner. Is it Kevin Costner? Kevin Conroy? What's his name?
I know you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Animated that.
Mark Hamill's the Joker in it. Like, it's a lot of those people, which is interesting because on the other side of, the other 2 interesting things about that, Multiverses is free to play. Nicktoons is a $40 game, unless you have Game Pass.
Oh, is it really? Wow.
Yeah. You need to pay for Nicktoons. So Multiverses, all of its money is coming from those DLC characters. Like, it really wants you to buy those characters and stuff like that. And Nicktoons does have DLC, but it really just wants you to buy the main game.
It's more of a nostalgia thing.
And all sides of the matter, where it's 90s nostalgia for Nickelodeon, and then it's early 2000s nostalgia for Melee. And then you kind of have to meet in the middle, where, like, a lot of the TV shows and like Cat Dog and stuff, they don't exist anymore, and the only way they would exist is if you have like a Paramount Plus subscription. Right. And how many people have? I assume it's popular, but I don't know how popular. Right. I mean, I want to give the kids the benefit of the doubt to be more worldly, but there's so much content now. Like, what kid is watching '90s Nickelodeon cartoons.
Unless their parents are. Or something.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, unless if their parents are our age and have that nostalgia for it, but like.
That's like the big difference between those two.
Yeah.
That is one of the big differences. Just like the Nickelodeon one's more nostalgia based, whereas Multiverses has that nostalgia, but also is bringing in the Game of Thrones and the LeBron James.
Which I do think that's weird too. Where like, I mean, Smash Bros does have that where it's like you have Mario and Zelda, but then you also
it's all
have
video game characters.
Yeah, but it's like the age difference between those characters, right? You have Mario and Zelda, but then you have like Snake and Bayonetta and Cloud from Final Fantasy.
And then you have the Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah, Mr. Game & Watch as well. Duck Hunt Dog.
Yeah,
like,
so there are some big, but those are all video games.
Right.
Whereas like
it's
under tons of different licensing, whereas like these games are just Nickelodeon license or Warner Brothers license.
Right. I think Warner Brothers is the more nebulous one.
Yeah. They'll have a little more variety.
Right. Nickelodeon cartoons, I mean, maybe they'll add some of the live action stuff. Like, I doubt they're going to add Keenan and Kel, but they could do like...
That'd be so
yeah, it would be hilarious. Like a Good Burger stage would be sick.
They just have like a All Out. Was it All Out?
Yeah, All That. The
all
Nick
that,
Cannon
just
show.
All That cast.
Yeah, dude.
There. It's definitely possible. That was another thing. They have like this home hub that you can kind of bounce around on.
Yeah. In
like,
Multiverses or Nicktoons?
In the Nicktoons thing.
Oh, okay.
To kind of... But it's one of those things where like... oh no, I think you can eventually change your characters.
Is Danny Phantom in there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's actually... They have a lot of niche pools in the game. Like fucking... fucking Toast Man.
Oh,
Toast
yeah,
from
Ren and Stimpy.
He's like
Toast
one
Man.
of the Powder Toast Man. He's like one of the main NPCs. I don't know if you can play him or eventually you can, but
think you
he
can.
introduces you to the hub world.
Yeah, he was a DLC
stuff.
character in 1, for sure.
And like Reptar is a character you can get and stuff.
Dude.
So there's like a lot of cool characters. I think it's just like more heavy. We made a similar nostalgia game instead of like where Multiverses seems like it's gonna forever, like they have events, it's gonna forever improve and progress. And
ideally, yeah.
Because I mean, they jumped on that Jason thing immediately.
Immediately.
Like, as soon as it had a problem,
Right.
they jumped on it, rehashed a new thing, took him completely out of the game, and then I think he's back now. I gotta check the new update.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
On my phone.
Yeah, I mean, people pay money for him, so
yeah,
like,
I mean, I love. He's one of my favorite characters so far. So
yeah,
I hope he comes back.
Yeah, I think each character, like, the equivalent for their whole bundle is like $30 a piece.
Yeah.
You
get
all
like
their outfits
you get
and stuff
the
like
outfits, the icon, the voice animation, the background. You get a good chunk of stuff
like,
for what it is, but
gating a free-to-play game, the character that you bought from a free-to-play game is a real big like
I think you can get.
I totally get.
I think you can get the original Jason. I think you can unlock him for free, but all the other stuff
the
you
skins,
have to pay for.
yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah, but even then, it's like the unlockable is the currency, and it's like, do you want to grind for the currency, or do you want to just buy it?
And there's a whole event web that you need him as a player to fight.
Oh, really?
Because there's certain, because they give you like each story mode is like a chapter, and then within that chapter is like the story that you're in at the moment. So like there's one that's just centered around basically escaping Jason.
Oh, okay.
And then after that you unlock him, and then the next one is there's something else that like Jason was afraid of or something like in the world.
Yeah.
But then now there's certain paths that you can take where you have to be him to progress.
It's like the Balrog or something like that.
No, I think it was something down. No, I think it was it's the newest Agent Smith.
Oh.
From the Matrix. They're like going that route where it's like they're going like a digital.
I did see that.
So I think that's actually the next one I have to do. But
weird Matrix. I wonder if they'll add Neo too. I mean, you gotta add Neo.
I can't. Yeah, I'd love.
Or do you add John Wick instead of Neo?
Yeah.
and like do the switch around and be like, you thought it was gonna be Neo,
Yeah.
would add Morpheus, but John Wick.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
I could see that.
But yeah, so I don't know. I like it. It just it feels and looks cleaner too.
Hell yeah.
I'll go back to the Nickelodeon.
I mean, that's good to hear, because I mean, like, if it wasn't that long ago where it was, where the fuck is Multiverses? They said it was, it was a full ass game, and they took it down and were like, that was just the beta, we swear.
Yeah.
And then went away for a whole year and a half.
I know. I was excited that it popped back up because I thought this whole time I was like, oh, did I just not play this for this long? Because when it first came out, I was excited and I started playing it.
Right.
And then it did disappear, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I just forgot.
No,
It's fun.
It wanted you to forget.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. I think it really made a good comeback.
Right.
It definitely came back way cleaner. I mean.
Right, and a lot of those, like, I know the later half of before it went dark, it was free to play, but like the original Founders Pass, they paid $40 for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for it to be like the people paying money to get like the Founders Pass.
I wonder what they they probably gave something.
I think with that you got all of those starting characters. That was
nice.
the idea. You got like Wonder Woman and Daenerys and fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because you only get like
LeBron, Bugs.
3. I think all I have right now is Wonder Woman, Jake, and.
Did you get Banana Guard?
I did get Banana Guard. I mean, he's kind of lame.
Right, of course. Video's free.
Yeah, it's very simple. And then Jason, I ended up getting Jason.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and Shaggy. Shaggy's like one of the.
Oh yeah,
obviously
Shaggy's the first one, right? Yeah.
He's like the inspiration. I feel like for the whole game was his.
Do they not
Super
have a video
Saiyan.
game? Is fucking Scorpion not in there?
Scorpion?
Yeah.
From
or
Mortal
Sub-Zero? Yeah.
No.
Really? That's surprising.
That would be interesting. That might be something maybe they have in store.
Yeah. Because that's
like a whole different realm of violence. I mean, how would they like find the middle ground?
It's funny you say that, because another realm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, yes,
they could tone it down.
Yeah,
but...
you could have Sub-Zero with his chains or Scorpion with his chains and not have it be bloody. But it is rated teen, so that you could get away with some violence. I think
I would love to see if they were able to incorporate some bone-breaking animations. That would be funny. I don't know how, but it would be interesting.
Or pulling the spine out without, like, a bunch of blood.
Right.
You can just pull out a dry spine out of somebody.
Even if his weapon was, like, a bone or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could see that, because that is Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They own that property. And the reason why I ask is because in the animated movie, that Mortal Kombat animated movie that people really like, the beginning of that is Super Saiyan Shaggy.
Really?
And he takes over the MGM logo.
Wow.
The Warner Brothers logo. It's like Shaggy's face, and he goes into the Super Saiyan, like, full eyes and everything like that.
Interesting.
And
so
then,
maybe they have some stuff in the works. I mean, like I said, I mean, they're introducing already weird stuff. I mean, the fact that they got Jason and then Agent Smith from The Matrix.
Well, yeah,
both 80s.
The Shaggy thing
90s.
is from a meme.
Right. Which is what I honestly think was like half the inspiration. They saw him turning into a Super Saiyan. They're like, fighting game.
Yeah, it was. People were like.
Because they wanted him in Smash or something?
Right, yeah. So the way Smash worked with characters is that it would be. They would ask for names, right? And then they would pull the most popular names that they got, and then you would eventually hear of one of those, like, 2 or 3 years later.
Right, they have to find which ones want to agree to the licensing.
Right. Yeah. The big ones were Shaggy, Goku, and Sora. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Sora came out of that.
Right.
But, I mean, Sora has been asked for since the beginning. Mm-hmm. But the Shaggy thing was, like, all because of the Shaggy Power meme.
Right.
or whatever, and then they made Super Saiyan Shaggy or whatever, and then I think Black Goku was the other one, where it was like Super Saiyan Black Goku, where like instead of him going blonde, it was like black.
Because he's a video game still.
Right, but that was a licensing nightmare too, because that like it's owned by Square and Disney. Like
Right.
Sora is technically
It's already kind of a
Disney
multi-licensed.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even if you do watch the Sora trailer, like Disney is in there in big letters in that fine print.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Disney does not fuck around with that IP for some reason. For as much Kingdom Hearts shit as there is, it's like they are completely like locked down when it comes to anything outside of that IP appearing.
Yeah. Well, they know what people can do and will do.
Right.
To bastardize those type of things. I mean, look, we already got we have a whole Winnie the Pooh horror universe coming to fruition, so.
For sure. I mean, it took one What If for people to run with, like, Bowsette and Boozette, if you remember those, the horny creations.
Yeah.
It's like, what, Toadette? I think that was where it started. It was like Toadette, the girl Toad, would eat a special mushroom that would turn her into an actual, like, princess, and where she got hot. It was like, what about if you gave Bowser the hot flower? Or Boo the hot flower?
Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Been there, done that.
Shit. I think that's a podcast, man.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I really had fun. It's good to be back. I know I'm sorry, guys out there, that it took so long, but I mean, it happens.
Yeah, you should have been enjoying your summer. We were giving you a chance to go outside. So welcome back.
I need to get outside more. I feel it.
At least once a week, I try to just at least step outside. I even rolled around on my skateboard a little bit.
Oh, really?
In New Hampshire, yeah, my really shitty one. Not too much because I'm scared.
Yeah.
It's gonna break because it's shitty. But I was like, man, I'm outside because I was up there and I committed to staying up there because it's only 2 hours. I could have drove back and then back again.
Right.
But I was like, if I have 2 shows in New Hampshire, I'm just gonna stay in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Turns out the part of New Hampshire I was in, maybe this is all of New Hampshire, probably. There's nothing to do. So.
Oh yeah. Everything closed real early.
I did actually. I mean, I'm not gonna try to squeeze this in now. Maybe we can. I went to the video game museum.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that next week. That'd be cool.
Yeah. But I have some photos and stuff. Not too many, but that would be something worth, I think, us going to.
Yeah.
And like just because I think you would be able to walk around it more and actually know what you're looking at,
right,
as far as like what is special and rare and unique, whereas I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen most of this stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and I'm like taking pictures, but it could have been just like another common cabinet. And then it's 3 floors of video games. They have like 300 cabinets. Yeah, like 300 cabinets. They have a whole wall of like old pinball games from a long time ago, and then they have a little corner of like new games that are like connected to this app, so you can like compete and shit. That's where I spent most of my time.
Also pinball stuff.
It's all pinball.
I wonder if that's Stern.
I didn't download the app, but yeah. But then they have like a skee ball thing, an indoor mini golf. There's a bar for 21 up, and then some other random shit. It's sick though. It's really cool. And then like along the walls and stuff, there's like cabinets in glass, like older original stuff, and there's like things on the. I'll show you some of the photos in a moment. But I think that'd be something that we should go do one day, because it's only like 2.5 tops hours away. Yeah. And I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, so you kind of do that, and then that's pretty much it. But
right.
But yeah, I ended up doing that, and then spent as much
fun.
time as outside as I could while I was up there, even though it was so hot. But it was kind of rainy, so that was nice. Yeah. So I was like in and out, found a couple rivers.
Yeah. I don't know what part of New Hampshire you were in, but
Bristol.
Oh.
Tilton.
I used to live near Portsmouth, which is like all the way at the top.
No, I was like lower, southern middle. Like you cross the border, you're a little bit more. Like I said, it's only like 2 hours. So you make it all the way across Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
And then you're in New Hampshire, and then it's like one of the southern towns.
Yeah, New Hampshire's really small. You could drive like
Yeah.
straight through New Hampshire in like
most
30
of
minutes.
New England is
Yeah. Well, yeah. New England, you can just get through in like 2 hours, pretty much.
It's
from
all.
here
Every
to-
state
to
is
Maine.
about 2 hours big, I think.
2 hours gets you to Maine. From here,
If you take
2.5 hours,
395 all the way up. Yeah. Maybe a little more than 2 hours, depending
Get there
on
pretty fast.
depending on how Boston is. But yeah, I mean, unless you go across Mass, left to right, that's maybe a 4-hour drive. But other than that, every New England city is small. Anyways, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, we'll be here.
We're rambling now.
We'll be here next week with a podcast at the normal time. We won't be taking a week off this time. We'll have new stuff to talk about. I'll have more Erdtree to talk about, ideally. Probably the latter half of bosses. Like I said, I've done 3 main bosses, and right now I've kind of like got into the edge on a lot of spots where I think I have like 4 or 5 right now where I could do. And those are all pretty big bosses, not like little side ones. So that'll be cool to talk about. Yeah, I'll try to play something else, of course. That sounds so cool, man. I do want to do that. Yeah. That's all I got. That's all I got. It's been fun, guys. It's been real.
See ya.
Peace out, Cub Scouts. Bye. Woo! You can touch it now, yeah.
3D.